That might be the worst advice I've ever heard.
The worst piece of advice ever given.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you see the gear. You know what the fuck it is. You know what
Terps.
I like turtles. I like turtles. We are Team Maryland right now. Crab cakes and Bitcoin. That's what Maryland does. We have drafted Maryland in
Crab Cake's defense and not rebounding.
No rebounds. 0 rebounds.
Let's talk some college basketball.
0 rebounding.
Maryland, not great at rebounding. I'm out, by the way, now.
Yeah,
That's all my college basketball
Okay, I'll add one more thing.
Also not great at
UConn.
assists. They said that.
UConn can't win despite getting 40 fucking offensive rebounds. Now I'm done. We drafted Maryland in the Blockfolio Barstool Bracket Blockers Challenge, where you draft a underdog team, and if they make it to the Sweet 16, you win a prize. In years gone by, it's been the chance to go party in Las Vegas with Dave Portnoy.
Where
so me and
a rule had to be invented because
the
of me.
Feidelberg rule. The all-time greats invent rules. You know, there were the Jordan rules. They had to change the rules for Wilt and Shaq. All the dominant players, they have to alter the rules to make sure that they can't keep doing what they do. Feidelberg was so disinterested.
I was first overall pick, and I picked a 16.
Feidelberg.
I'm going to go with, let's see this here, Mount St. Mary's.
That's a 16.
Put a lot of thought in that, First 16.
So
They're 1-0 in their last one.
is that like a challenge? You're like the MTV thing, and you're like throwing it when they like throw the challenge.
That was a pretty clear name. No, they won their tournament.
And like that's not an anti-Dave thing. It's more of an anti-Vegas thing. Like I just have no interest in going to Vegas.
It's a pretty anti-Vegas.
But
it's a pretty
it's
anti-Dave.
like I knew Dave didn't want me in Vegas, so like I was like, I'm not gonna force myself. I'm taking a 16 seed.
The number 1 overall pick, taking like the play-in 16 seed, is a slap in the face to everyone involved. It's a slap in the face to Dave. It's a slap in the face to the sponsor. It's a slap in the face to the city of Las Vegas. It is
No regrets. I had no regrets about it. And I
Dave's
bet
face.
if you asked Dave, he would have no regrets about it either. He'd be like, yeah, I'm glad Feits wasn't there.
Imagine that. I mean, imagine if like so in the years gone by, a good array of people have won over the years. Like Clem won once and went as like the dad.
Yeah.
Za was there, just being like the party animal. Sometimes it's
Tommy
Dave's
Smokes.
crew. Yeah, Tommy Smokes became like Tommy Smokes like on that trip. So like, there's a lot of funny shit that has come out of the bracket challenge that we've done. If it was just like, imagine like me and you won, and then like me and you were at DP40 or whatever. Just like, oh, by the way, happy birthday, Dave. Today's his birthday, right? As we record this.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I would be.
Happy birthday, Dave.
I mean, we would just be sitting there like, okay, can I go back to the room now?
Can I go to a different bar?
Can I go to a show? I'm gonna go see Celine Dion. She's got a residency going here.
Go see Britney.
Britney, yeah. I would legit, if I went to Vegas right now, I'd go see a Britney Spears show. Like, free Britney! That would be my time. So, in years gone by, we had no interest. Then Blockfolio steps up this year and says, here's a Bitcoin for a prize, which at the time of recording this is worth $57,000. So, I mean, a huge prize. And then, like I said, there's been multiple winners in the past, few seasons. And I'm thinking to myself, well, even if a few teams make it, we're splitting up 60 grand. Well, like every team made it this year.
Every single team.
Like at the time of recording this, there's 3 already in. There's a 4th guaranteed because the Chicklets gang, literal millionaires, are playing Team Mincy and Little Sass, who have been here for 15 minutes. So one of those 2 motherfucking teams are going to be guaranteed a share of $60,000. Fuck the both of you guys. I got Ryan Whitney every other time he tweets, we got to be in on crypto. We got to be crypto guys. We got to win this. Fuck you, Ryan Whitney. I don't care what currency your wealth is in. I don't care what denomination your unimaginable wealth is in, Ryan. So fuck you. And I got Mints and Little Sass who like might not even be here in a year for all they fucking know. Who might just swoop in, grab $20,000 and swoop out.
Might not get a new contract.
Right. and we're here every fucking year for bracket blockers, breakers, busters, and we never fucking win. So now we win. We win our first round game. Wow, here we go.
Hey, you're also
anything's possible.
Leaving out the part where somehow, by the way, this weekend, when I wasn't texting, I wasn't tweeting or anything, somehow I just like reading up on stuff like, oh, we just promised everyone else on KFC Radio the money. So like, by the end of this thing, I'm gonna afford a gallon of milk and that's it. Like I'm getting, I'm literally resigned to. I'm getting $0 out of this.
For the record,
even if we win, I'm getting $0.
For the record, you know what? As a matter of fact, how about this? Let's go around. Why do you think you deserve some Bitcoin, Jackie?
Well, I won. I won the little.
You won what? You won what?
Well, there was a poll, and the people chose me.
A poll.
Oh, the pretty girl won a poll. Who would have fucking guessed?
Okay, so Jackie's reason to win.
50% to Zach had 4%.
Zach, grab a mic.
The gay guy lost the poll. Who would have guessed?
Why do you deserve a Bitcoin? A piece of a Bitcoin, Zach?
I'm starting to think I don't.
Best answer so far.
No. Yeah.
Nick, why do you deserve a Bitcoin?
I don't want it. I put the poll up just to piss everyone off. I was like, this is going to get the most engagement by far. Let's watch everyone tear each other apart, and it worked.
I just want you guys to have the money and then stop making goddamn new shows. So I don't want any part of it.
Yeah, I mean, we were in an interesting spot where Maryland won game 1. So if they win their second game, we are in the money for this Bitcoin, for at least a share of it. We're also the last game tonight of round 1. So we would know.
Too late. Let's call it what it is. It's too late.
I mean,
8:45.
8:45, Jimmy.
Right? 8:45 p.m. Yeah. Midnight. I'll be home.
I know. Syracuse's next game is it's a 9:55 tip. I mean, insanity.
What?
Insanity.
There's 16 teams left. We're like, yeah, we'll start them at 10 p.m.
So we have the last game, so we would know exactly how many teams are in the money. So we could theoretically place our own bet. Shout out to Penn. Use the Barstool Sportsbook in one of these states.
Sorry to interrupt. I can't tell if I stink or this T-shirt does.
The T-shirt does not smell good.
Okay, because I did
one of those
shower
like
this
vinegar
morning,
shirts.
so
They're weird.
It is rough.
Yeah. Anytime they just print one like on the go, I mean, this has got to be the worst shirt that's ever made. The Kirk was right shirts are better than these. We could have then hedged our bet and placed a bet on Alabama to then guarantee a nice chunk of money. But so many fucking teams are going to make it to the second round that we'd have to place an enormous bet on Alabama because they're such a heavy favorite.
The more we talk about this, I don't want it.
You don't want the money?
I don't want it.
And there you have it, folks. There's John Feidelberg in a nutshell. It's
I don't want to split between fucking 10 different people. I want to lose. Fuck Maryland, go Bama.
This is when, you're at the bar and the bill is like $2,700 and people are like, well, let's split it this way and that way. And John is just like, I'll just pay for it myself. Just because I don't want things to be annoying for 35 seconds. So I'll just pay for all of it. This has gotten slightly too complicated. John's out. Yeah, it's free money, no interest.
Not like I'm literally not interested.
No, thank you.
I said I am gonna get $0 out of this. You guys can have all of it, okay? I'm done. I'm out.
Give me
done.
that marker.
Don't put they want a Bitcoin.
They want a Bitcoin. What should have been our best situation ever has turned into what this is?
A mild nuisance.
You know what this is? This is submitting expenses.
Yeah.
Free money. Not gonna do it. Don't want to do it. No interest in that. So we got our shirts.
Go Terps.
We want go Terps. I'll tell you what, that kid Ayala can ball though. He is the type of kid who could just put the team on his back and beat fucking Alabama.
I hope not.
This year, man,
I'm kidding. Thank you, Blockfolio. # Bracket Blockers. Barstool Bracket Busters.
Blockers.
If
Imagine if you were a real fan of a team right now, like Trent's sitting out there, 2 seed Iowa, just getting their dicks demolished, just getting them stomped in. And, he's playing against Oregon, who didn't have to play a first-round game. Whether that's good, whether that helps, who knows. You got VCU, who just disappears. They won? Whichever.
VCU got kicked out, Oregon went on.
Because I don't even think players had it, just like someone associated with the team had it. You got upsets galore. Everything being played in one city. Everything, late games, late tips. I mean, the whole thing is just like, the fuck is going on here?
It is a weird. And granted, I was away this weekend, so I really wasn't paying that much attention, except for the game I was contractually obligated to. But like, I was like, it doesn't feel like March, man.
No,
because I was not giving it. Like, so I was sitting at home, it probably would have, but I was not.
I think two things. One, I think you're right, just because of everything we said. It's still, this is like I think the tail end. I'm hoping this will be the last season deeply affected by COVID. I feel like baseball. Maybe one more season, I think, and then we hopefully be back to normal. Two, I think college basketball, unless you are an alma mater, a graduate of a heavy basketball school, or you are like a heavy bettor, I think college basketball is the first thing to go as you get older. As a sports fan, if you're a casual college basketball fan, it's the first thing that goes in like the war of attrition on like just your interest in life.
Yeah, I would guess that
because football, I never even liked college football.
I actually it's kind of wrong for me to agree because I never really had a super passion about it.
Yeah, okay.
I always liked March Madness, but I
used to watch college basketball. I never gambled. I was never a gambler. So the people who bet are always going to be like, you don't really fucking care. It's like, okay, fine. You bet your rent on these games. You really, really, really care. I cared about it because I just like had a passion for basketball, and I would watch pro and college basketball all week long, like every single game I could. I'd watch everything all season long. And then March Madness, I would be like, I remember when I did For Sure Not, we would do, I only did that for like 1 or 2 years where we did like a March Madness pool. But I was like putting out my picks and like, here's my bracket. And people were like following along. Like, I loved that shit. And then as you just get older, if you don't have like a true inherent interest, like it was just like, I just don't care anymore. I tweeted about it on the Thursday morning, or no, Selection Sunday. And I didn't mean for it to be. It was early in the morning, and I was just like once you get older, you just stop to care about your certain likes and interests. And the first thing that fell off for me, and it really makes me sad, is college basketball. And people were like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Like, this is depressing. And I got young kids being like, is this what's gonna happen? I got older guys my age being like, that's like dead on. Like, I'm with you, man. I used to like pick, take my vacation days accordingly. And we always had saloon Fridays and like the most wonderful time of the year. And now I'm just like, yeah, now the Mets like take my interest. Football is easy because you just gear up like once a week. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's not like and I do think also the rise of just every streaming platform and like I want to watch other stuff.
Better shit to watch than fucking a bunch of missed threes and failed rebounds.
That's kind of the thing. And when you really,
I was yelling at the game. I was like, box out.
I know,
come on, box out.
It was. I mean, it was pathetic. It was crazy. If UConn could put in a couple putbacks here and there, they would have won that game. But I have to sit down and really watch sports now. I have to have like a deep interest. And I understand that's why when you gamble, you always have an interest. But for me, I'm not a gambler. It just has to be about like my passion for that team and that game. And unless it's a team I root against that I hate or a team I really root for, I used to be able to watch like, Indiana play fucking Duke. I don't know, whatever. And now I don't care enough. And then couple that with like, this past weekend, I was like, I'm watching Nate Bargatze. Yeah. I'm watching one of the greatest stand-ups of all time before I put on a random, And you know what I also do with a lot of sports now? I put it on. I'm like, all right, like, boom. Like, I'm going to get some wings. I'm going to get a beer. I'm going to watch the game.
I'm going to make myself a fucking beer commercial.
I'm going to be a sports fan. I'm a man.
Wet nap? No thanks.
And then I put it on, and I'm like, well, I can just find out who wins, like, at the end. You know what I mean? Like, I'll watch the highlights. I'm like such a chick with it. But, man, like, watching Nate, so I did that. I put on the games, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Greatest Living Americans out.
Greatest Average
Americans out. And I put that on, and there was no qualms about it. There was no like, oh, wait a minute, I'm missing the game. I was like kind of following on Twitter. And then when I realized just how fucking funny that special was,
I've watched it 3 times now. It's impossibly funny. It's so fucking unfairly funny. Like, I think I said, like, if you actually checked like American law it's probably illegal to be that funny.
I tell him, I used to tell him to his face our past couple interviews. I'm like, fuck you, man, because like every single thing you do is funny. Like things that are not supposed to be funny are funny. I'm just sitting here giggling at you like an asshole because, and he says it in this special too with the big eyes, where he gets people who treat him like he's stupid. He's got those big owl
Still with
eyes,
me, man?
and he's got that southern drawl, and it's just like everything is funny when he's. I wonder if there are times he's trying to be serious about stuff, and he's like, come on, take me seriously. Like this is fucking important. But, I mean, if you haven't seen it, Greatest Average American is he just knocks it out of the park. And he has this one bit that, to me, the funniest things in comedy are truth. Like, when you nail an observation, and the whole audience is kind of like, yep, that's right. There's just nothing fucking funnier. And he has a bit about his kid getting on the school bus and getting to and from school, and how the principals, called him to get, like, information. And he's like, I'm the dad. You don't call the dad for him. He's like, have you ever seen a family? Do you know how families work? Unless there's two dads, you call one of the dads. Otherwise, you don't call any dad ever for any information.
I'd rather have you call a random woman.
Call another mom in my kid's class, and she has a better chance of knowing.
He said, fine, I'll come pick her up. What school does she go to?
It's so good, man. And it really is true that, like, even me, like, so as a single parent, you find yourself like single mom has to play a little bit of the dad role, single dad has to play a little bit of the mom role, and even still, I'm like, I don't know any of these things, you know. I was at the doctor with Keegan the other day, and they were like, "Is he allergic to anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, he is." And they were like, "What is it?" I was like, "I don't know." And I was like, "I remember last year there was an incident."
But
there was
definitely
an
be
incident.
careful about anything you give him.
Like, that's on you. Figure it
There
out.
are things on this planet that will kill him.
Yes.
I forget what they are.
I remember
And
sitting there
it's
like-
a note I should probably really get tattooed on my fucking arm, but I forget. But I think it's maybe Johnson & Johnson shampoo is what.
No, what's even funnier? I think so. I'm allergic to penicillin, and if you're allergic to penicillin, they give you amoxicillin, and vice versa. So I was like, it's either penicillin or amoxicillin. It's like, well, you need to know which one. And I was like,
Isn't there a doctor test you guys can just do right now to figure it
I'm
out?
like, isn't there a chart or something? You look up the chart. I hear about the famous chart all the time. Look up his records. It'll say it in there. The fuck? The dad. I don't know any of this shit, man.
I mean, like, I was watching that. So it's obviously, I think pretty much everyone listening to this now, but by now knows that I went to, I think it's 7 colleges. And watching that, I was like, if I called my dad and asked him how many colleges I went to and what schools they were, he could name 2, maybe 3 of them. He paid for all of them.
Under
Like, he was
50%.
the one cutting
Well
the
under
check.
50%.
And if I told my dad I went to NYU, he would be stunned.
And he would. And like, yeah, he really
He'd be
would.
like, you went to where? I'm like, yeah, no.
like that's like a borderline Ivy League, you know? Like, you did?
How the he's like, that was one of your last ones? How the fuck did you get in? I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But like, I did. And I never went to class, and I just interned for Kevin at Barstool, New York. That's why I was here. That's why I was at Barstool. That's why I was in New York. He's like, really?
That's right.
You went to NY? That's why you were there?
Bro, the only reason why you're really here is because you were in New York for NYU.
Yeah.
So NYU kind of gave you your career. You
Yeah,
know?
and he would have no clue.
I'm pretty sure my dad does not know my birthday. I'm almost positive. I'm 100% positive in years gone by that he's like missed my birthday. And I know I would put in recent years because of the KFC thing, he might now remember it.
Oh, yeah.
But there was definitely a time where my dad would not know my middle name. Guaranteed, take it to the bank. My dad's middle name is incorrect on his birth certificate because my grandfather was the one who had to like go down to like in the hospital and do the paperwork, and
Because your grandmother was a little busy giving birth.
sewing herself back up. You know, back in the day, they were like, "Here's a needle and thread."
Fixing the bone tomahawk scene.
You got any super glue? Let me just put you back together. She said, so my dad's name was supposed to be Timothy Joseph. And somewhere along the lines, it kind of got shortened to Timothy J. And my grandfather went down there, and on his birth certificate it said J-A-Y. Timothy J, which is even crazier because it's like it wasn't like Jason.
That's not a name.
Like Jay is not a fucking name, Grandpa, you dumbass. So like it runs in the family, not knowing the guy.
It's the phonetic spelling of a letter. Not a name.
Keegan's birthday is on. It's 7/18/17. And with the 7s and the 1s and the 8s and the 7s, I'm like, it's always a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Like, is he 2 or 3? Is it 18 or 7? I can imagine in 40 fucking years from now, I'm gonna be like, I don't know. There's a 7 and 8 in there somewhere. You tell me. But yeah, dads. I feel like it's just not biologically in our brain. How about this? When I was in therapy with I broke up with my one therapist.
Oh yeah,
I just dumped her.
Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, didn't. You know, I was ready. I told myself I'm gonna go to war with this girl, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna quit. But she said to me like, you know, you got to make sure like you're present as a parent. I was like, listen, I'm pretty fucking. I am a good dad. Like I go to bat, and she starts rattling off all these things, and she's like, you know, you have to do this and you have to do that. Like, do you know your friends? Do you know your kids' friends' names? And going on, and I was like, I know my kids' friends' names. Like at school? How the fuck would I know that? No.
I don't go to school with
I
them.
didn't. They're not my friends. They're his friends. Does he know my friends? Does Keegan know mine? Does Keegan know John? No. So what the fuck? It's like, boy, the bar is pretty fucking high. I'm sitting here. I play Big Monster with them. I'm running all around. I'm living under the fucking bed with them. We're doing hide and seek. I'm playing these games. I'm dressing up. I'm doing makeup. All that. None of that counts. I got to know their fucking friends'
Yeah, I
names.
never asked Rick what.
Yeah,
what's
sorry.
Rick been up to?
If there's a baby named Rick somewhere, if my son's hanging out, I better know there's a Rick. There's something wrong with that kid. Your parents are weirdos. Named you
You're
Rick.
in class with Rick? He's not in class. He just hangs out by the playground.
Well, by the way, at what point do you think?
Dude, by the way, speaking of kids, my friend I'm sorry, you go first.
Well, it was just it's a we're off topic here. When do you think
Standard KFC radio show.
it's kind of dead now, I think? Well, let me two-part question. One, do you think it's dead now? And two, at what age do you think people start going by Dick? Like, were there Dicks in elementary school? No way, right? I think that's dead now. I don't think anybody like our age is naming a kid Richard with the intent of calling him Dick.
We were raised very childish. We grew up.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna call him Dick.
People
make fun of him. That's a penis.
I call my kid Cock before I called him Dick. But like, you know, now if you want to name someone Richard, it's Richard or Rich or Richie or Ricky. But like,
you don't get a lot of dicks.
No one's doing Dick anymore. And if you were a Dick, were you in like 4th grade being like, you know, like John, present, Nick, here, Dick, present? Like, no way, right?
I would say no. I would say that's
so. Then even more so, like
that's
in
a college,
high school,
a college. Yeah.
So then in
you grow a mustache, start calling yourself Dick.
A kid in college is like, I'm going by Dick.
Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with those people?
I think once you get a mustache, I think there's a if you look at the correlation between people with mustaches and people who went by Dick, it's pretty high.
100% overlap. Yeah. There's only one Dick in my mind.
Tracy.
2. Huh?
I was gonna say Dick Tracy.
3. Okay. Acceptable Dicks. Dick Tracy. Dick Wolf from Law and Order.
Yeah.
And then more important, like the number 1 to me, greatest name ever, Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, I was gonna say Dick Vitale too. He's not really a Dick.
Well, Dickie. Dickie feels different to me.
Dickie V.
Dickie is like a whole different thing. Dick Van Dyke. Not only a ridiculous and awesome name for many
66% of his name is offensive.
and then having a van is like super bougie. And then also he was a fucking G. He was like he was in show business for like 75 years.
Yeah. Didn't he die like yesterday?
Yo, he used to have diagnosis murder. I watched that with my grandma.
He's alive still?
No way.
No, I think
but he's dead recently.
I think he's shockingly
I want to
just
say
died
like 2016.
No, I think like last month.
Even later.
Yeah, I think he was. I'm gonna give him a 20. What month is it? March.
It has to say
April?
right there on.
What month is it?
Okay.
March. Okay, I'm gonna give him a 21.
What month is it?
I think he's alive.
No. Really? What's it say on his IMDb? It has to have his.
Yeah, no death date on here.
Get the fuck
Dick
out
Van
of
Dyke's
here.
alive.
Dick Van Dyke.
Someone
Van
just
Dyke
died. Someone
death?
of his ilk just died.
Yeah,
Carl
motherfucker.
Reiner
It says
recently died. Carl Reiner. He was in all
No,
that shit.
I know Carl Reiner, but no.
Carl Reiner created the Dick Van Dyke Show. He's dead at 98. This just says years active, 1947 to present.
Motherfucker's been alive as long as Nazism. That's how long he's been active.
Wow.
Dick Van Dyke might outlive white supremacy.
How about this? There was, you know what? Like we're neck and neck right now. White supremacy's on the both of those are declining very rapidly. There was a urban legend in 2018 that Dick Van Dyke died and left $59 million to the Trump Foundation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. God,
Dick Van Dyke's got it like
damn.
that? My goodness.
Dick Van Dyke is alive? Dick Van Dyke is alive.
That's more shocking than Pablo Picasso
Yes.
dying like after the
1989.
Ford Mustang was invented.
Yeah, well after. Dude, that is blowing my mind. I used to watch that shit with my grandma, Diagnosis Murder, and that was forever ago. And he was old than that. He looked like that in Diagnosis Murder. He used to solve crimes like a motherfucker. He must be like, we haven't seen him in like public life in forever, right?
I feel
Dick
like I've
Van
seen
Dyke
him fairly
is
recently.
alive.
That's what's hitting you.
Motherfucker played Bert.
Motherfucker's
in Mary
acting right
Poppins.
now. Like that's
in production.
That's in pre-production. But you shouldn't
are
be
not gonna
buying
make
fucking
it.
ripe bananas, let alone starting pre-production movies.
Oh my god. This dude.
What's this gonna take about 2 years? Yeah, I should be all set. Like, really, Dick? Like, if you're the financier that big, you're like, well, Dick's not really tied to this, right? Like,
We got an understudy ready to go,
how
right?
important is Dick's connection to this movie? Because I don't think I'm ready to cut a check just yet.
Dude, look, pull up, go back. Look at the logo for the Dick Van Dyke Show. That looks like it's from 1896. Look at that thing. The guy who starred in that is fucking
I'm
alive?
just impressed it's not written in pencil.
I can't believe it was even like on the
It's
air.
a Polaroid of a pencil sketch.
Holy shit. Dick Van Dyke. He's the last greatest. He's the last living Dick. You know?
Yeah.
He's like the last great Dick. The last great American Dick.
Him and Danny D.
Shit, man. Unbelievable. It's The Notebook. we are officially in capital N territory. It's The Notebook, and I ain't talking Nicholas Sparks. This little book of wonders, this is like Indiana Jones's book. You know, he always had that little notebook where he's writing down like the secrets of the world. Like things such as, I keep waking myself up farting.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that was only on the live show. I forgot about that.
Last live show, John was giving out his secrets. So in his book, he writes down bits and like, hey, we should do a segment on this, or like, hey, here's a thought that I had. Sometimes it's work, like business stuff, like, you know, here's an idea, here's sometimes something for a segment, here's something like a punchline of a joke. And then sometimes he just writes down things that are happening to him. And the latest one was, quote, verbatim, I keep waking myself up farting.
It's a true story.
And then my favorite part. So John holds it up and we zoom in on it and I posted it on Instagram. It's like, this is, you know, if anybody ever wanted to know the secrets of podcasting, here you go. And then beneath it is like tomato bread knife.
Well, okay.
And John, y'all ain't ready for that. What is a tomato bread knife?
Okay, so the
Wait,
question I wrote.
Let me just try to think of what that could be
You're
in
never
your
gonna-
fucked up brain. It's like,
It's not. Honestly, none of it. That's not attributed to me at all. So that was the answer to my own question. The question I was gonna ask you, and basically everyone in this room, is where's the weirdest place you've gotten a useful piece of information that you continue to use?
Ooh.
Mine is, the answer is here, it's the movie The Hunt. Remember that movie?
Vaguely, where they hunt the girl after that engagement. Is that it?
No, that's
That was Adam Brody.
they both came out at the same time. I
Yeah.
can see the confusion.
But it's something sort of hunting humans, right?
It was like rich people get
Okay.
whatever.
Yep.
And at the end of that movie, there's a fight between two women. And one of the women walks in and she's cutting a tomato.
Mm-hmm.
And she says something to the effect of, people don't know that a bread knife is the best knife to use when you cut a tomato. And I still to this day use a bread knife when I cut a tomato because I'm like, well, thank you, the hunt.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, yes, you did learn that. Like, how often you slice down tomatoes? I guess when you're doing
all the time.
doing
Hello Fresh, baby.
Yeah.
Like I cut
So what
tomatoes.
does that mean? Like a
I cut
serrated
tomatoes every night. I think.
like a serrated knife is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get through that skin.
That's that. I was like, I don't know how. It's that piece of information, and then desert is my other one. My second grade teacher said dessert is spelled with 2 S's because you want 2 of them, and that's like the other weird piece of information.
I mean, I got a lot of spelling ones, like definitely. Somebody told me to definitely, if you spell it definitely, that sticks with me.
I don't get that one.
Just like
Just put fine in it.
I just know how to spell finite.
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
We were just saying pronounced words.
But that's
differently.
the only things that stick with me are like tricks to spell things. But the real tricks don't stick with me because they don't work. Like I before E is like.
I don't know.
The
that.
before is before this, before that, before. Well, that doesn't apply here. That never works.
That's like the month thing.
Oh,
like,
I don't know what's the month.
like 30 days, half September. Like, I have no idea.
You can just say that, you know. 30 days has December, April, June, and November. Like as long as the embers rhyme, that's it. You know.
I have no idea how that one works.
I can't think of like the origin. It might be like my dad, to be honest. But one thing, righty tighty, lefty loosey has been the most important thing that I've like ever probably learned. Like that's stuck
true.
with me. And I learned it was righty tighty, lefty loosey. Gases go up, solids go down. Paydays on Thursday or something like that. There's like an extended version of it.
I don't know
that
any
I
of
think
that.
my dad might have just made that one up. There was a couple like scientific things in there. But I feel like righty tighty, lefty loosey was.
This is all the information you'll ever need for your life. Is in this one
in
rhyme.
one- yes,
Righty
yeah,
tighty, lefty
yeah.
loosey, payday Thursday.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, righty tighty, lefty loosey has been like a really important one. Oh no, yeah, that's what it was. It was righty tighty, lefty loosey, hot is on the left, cold is on the right. Gases go up, solids go down, paydays on Thursday. And I don't know if he just made those other ones up, but that was another good one. Hot and cold being on the left and right.
And one of the Airbnb I stayed at this weekend didn't have that, like the HC in the shower. And I was just like,
You didn't know?
I don't even know how to shower.
I was at a shower. I was showering at this girl's place, and I turned it on, and it was freezing fucking cold. And I was like just waiting, and like I was like, I guess she doesn't have any hot water. So I took like an ice cold shower, and I got on. She was like, oh yeah, our left and right's like backwards.
Goddamn, Dad, know that. You ruined it.
Yeah. Like I knew that too well. Maybe I would have thought. I don't know. Maybe they have the cold on the left. But yeah, I'm happy you learned that about your tomatoes and your bread knives. Though.
Yeah, that's it.
You would have just been like just messy tomatoes everywhere. You know?
Yeah. I've tried with a regular knife. Squishes it. It's a whole mess.
I'm trying to. There's got to be something in movies. That's a good. I have to think on that one. What's the best piece of information taught to you in like a weird, you know,
a random place?
Like teachers will teach you things,
right?
I think my dad taught me those. Like you're supposed to do that, you know. You know, he wasn't busy learning my fucking middle name and stuff. He was teaching me about science. But what's the stupidest piece of information you learned? The best piece of information you learned in the stupidest spot? I like that one. Anything else in your house of horrors?
Sure. Okay. Podcasts have made fame too easy. Too many people are famous, giving information who don't. So this one stems from, and I guess it actually really wasn't a podcast that made her famous. It's Lana Rhodes, and she had a thing.
John, no. It was not the podcast.
But she has a vehicle. And,
it was the rubber ducky and the strawberries and the tub of milk.
I'm always very clear with things where I'm like, do not take advice from me. Right?
Yes.
Like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But other shows I think legitimately offer advice.
I know.
And hers was that crying is exceptionally unhealthy and that you should never ever cry. And I was just like, that's just not true. That's just not right. Like she's telling a bunch of people. It's just like she's like, you should never. Did you cry? You shouldn't. Like, don't ever do that. She's like, she should just write it in a journal instead. That's just gonna make me cry harder, Atlanta. Like if I start writing down my feelings, I
That
cry
might be-
even more.
That might be the worst advice I've ever heard.
The worst piece of advice ever
I
given.
don't cry. I suppress it, and it inevitably comes out in a fit of rage.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
3
Like I'm
months.
not a crier.
If I
Wish I
steadily
was.
cried, I would love it.
Like I wish I cried way more often than I cry. And she's just like, and like even her co-hosts on the show were just like, Lana, I don't know if you should be saying that. And she's like, no, you guys need to grow up and stop crying.
I saw like a clip of her the other day on some interview. They said, "What's your biggest flex ever?" And she was like, "I dropped out of school in 8th grade, and I'm worth millions." I was like, God damn.
I was gonna say she's had 3 dicks in her butt, but that one's pretty good too.
That's a pretty good flex. Too.
If we're talking actual flexing, it's probably the butthole thing.
What's your biggest flex ever? My asshole. The muscles in my asshole. 8th grade, like early.
8th grade's
8th grade. I'm gonna say it. It's too early to drop out of school. You can drop out of like high school. You can't drop out of like middle school. You got to make it.
I
to
don't
high
think you
school.
can drop out until college.
Yeah, like
As a college dropout, I think college is the right time to drop out.
You should make it through high school. If you drop out in like your senior year because you have something going, like what if somebody came through here and was 18? Because we've had plenty of people drop out of out of college, and that used to like scare me. I used to be like, I think you guys should finish school, and now I'm like, no, yeah, it's fine. If someone was not finishing high school, I think I'd be like, you can't, at least here, you can't work for our team. You can work somewhere else in Barstool. I can't have
You
you
have some
drop
real
out of-
dad instinct kicking.
I think I would. I'd be like, you have to have a degree. Like like your middle school one doesn't count.
you have to have a diploma of sorts.
A real one of sorts. Not like when you get when you're like in kindergarten. Would you let Jackie work here if she didn't graduate high school?
Yeah, I don't even know what Jackie does. So yeah, I'm sure she could probably
Man,
get it.
I used to really.
Jackie does promo clips and produces the show. I don't know what a producer does. I
They got one of the greatest
know.
rackets going.
don't know what anyone does. I don't know what anyone does except me, and I do the worst.
We don't
one.
do anything.
I do the
Yeah.
least work.
We just talk. Yeah, that's where it's getting. Oh, I had an idea. When if God willing, hopefully one day I'm rich and we're set, and like let's say we one day have like a full business enterprise going, where like whether it's with Barstool or away from Barstool, like we're just good and we know let's say we finally get over our self-esteem issues and we know that we are like we're running a good operation here.
Since we started doing this on like promoting the YouTube more, I gym a lot.
You look at the camera.
Like you're like, let's see.
Yeah, that's not gonna
I don't
happen.
know about that, but
So maybe we're operating in a fantasy world
Okay.
because as you said that, like the fame stuff about podcasts, like I see other podcasters that we follow, and I'm like, they made it, like they're fucking famous, they're like popular, they're whatever, and we have like a way bigger following than some of these people, and I'm like, they're famous, we are not. Like what is wrong with me? What is wrong with us?
I don't know.
What is wrong with us?
I don't know. We don't have time for that.
I mean, seriously, like, is there? We all know what body dysmorphia is. There's got to be like psychological dysmorphia, right?
Yeah, depression.
Depression, right? Yeah. That's called depression.
Yeah, it's super
We all-
diagnosable.
Yeah. It's like in my mind, we are abject failures. It's crazy. But I would like to, if because this all stemmed from I watched. Oh, I'm all over the place right now. I need to print a retraction, if you will.
Okay.
The Lori Loughlin send them all to jail thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was very upset about that, being like, these people don't deserve to go to jail. I don't necessarily think. I still don't know if they deserve jail time, but that whole racket was way deeper than I thought. There's a Netflix special on it right now called it's just called the College Admissions Scandal or something like that. I mean, it was a deep operation.
Why?
It was like one dude who's at the head of it who I don't know how he did it. I didn't.
Who even that whole thing blows my mind. Like,
bro?
like I would like.
He was almost my college advisor.
Really?
Really?
Is that how you
wasn't,
got into
he
USC?
wasn't.
Use the side door?
No, I didn't. I got
Yeah.
in because of my
So
grades.
so this one dude, I think his name's like Richard King or something like that.
Dick King.
Huh?
Dick King.
Dick King. Dick King. He started out as like he's a real asshole. He started out as like a college advisor. He used to show up in like gym teacher and like coach attire, like windbreakers, and like because he was like, I'm coaching you, so I'm here to like coach. Like you are a fucking asshole.
Boy.
But then he would just make you pay money. to get to school. So he would say like you can get in the front door, which means like you just get into school. You can get in the back door, which means you donate to the school a fat check, and then like they may or may not look at you. Or you can use my side door, which is far less than the back door donation, but I guarantee you will get in. I didn't get far enough in this series or the documentary to know how he does it. He must like blackmail people or some shady shit. But it was like millions upon millions of dollars, and they would like. I knew that they faked being on the team, but like he would Photoshop pictures of them, and then
Like in like rowing.
water polo. So they had this kid, and what's really funny about this documentary, they wiretapped their phone conversations, and then they had reenactments. So it's like me and you, just like our script was the phone.
Oh, what a gig that must be.
But it's also,
I love that job.
but it also they hired bad actors, I think. Actually, it was all no names, and then the one guy was the bad guy from WandaVision. He was in it. I was like, boy, you must have done this right before you did WandaVision.
The bad guy from WandaVision.
Like he was
the
in
FBI agent.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like I was like, you must have like done one last bad movie before you made it.
Yeah.
But you can tell that they're just reading like transcripts of a phone conversation. But he like there's a picture he's in his pool at home, and the dad's taking pictures of him like jumping out of the water, pretending to throw the ball. And at one point he was just in the shallow end, standing up, and the guy was like, nobody has ever been that high out of the water during water polo. Like, this picture's never going to work. And he's like this scrawny little kid who never played water polo at all. And they photoshopped
Can't
his
even
pictures into... Yeah. And it cost like... So he was like, you could donate like $50 million to Harvard, and like they might let you in. And like I'll get you in guaranteed for like 500,000. But it was this whole operation.
But you're talking about USC, right?
Apparently,
Like, yeah.
apparently it's hard to get into USC.
Is it?
I mean, Jackie got in. How could it be so hard?
Excuse me.
I
guess it's
know
hard for
two
out of
kids
state.
who went to USC. Two of my dumbest friends.
Well, they're out of state, obviously. If you know.
Yeah.
I heard it was one of
USC
those
is a
things.
really good school
For what?
for academics.
For
mean,
for
we're not-
education.
We're not the
That's about as
best.
bad as answer you can give.
Yeah.
I'll give you cinematography, film school maybe. But I mean I don't think but people say the same thing about like University of Florida. Like Florida's a great school.
Fuck off. Come on.
I mean, it can't be that good.
You know what's crazy? In the beginning of that documentary, they do a montage of kids getting into school. So they have like the these kids who film themselves about to like check the website. And they're and it's like Duke, NYU, Columbia, and then there was one kid for Fordham with his whole family behind him, and he's like, yeah, and I was like, brother,
Did you visit it?
I was gonna say, is there like a new Fordham I don't know about? Are you like we're talking about like Fordham Law School, like maybe? Are you like into the arts and you're going to Lincoln Center?
Just a
Because if
big
you're going to
Denzel
Fordham,
Washington
like
I think I'm like probably pretty jaded because I didn't go like finish college, so I don't think college matters. It
doesn't.
But like I would never if my kids like I didn't get to USC. Like okay, so you're gonna go to a different school. Then.
Yeah, the thing that I was taking away from that documentary is just how much it's still like people are still so stupid about, and it's all parents living vicariously too. I feel bad for these kids. They don't really care. It's all the parents being like, "This is your chance." But did you know that the word prestige in French, it's like where the word stems from. It basically means deceit. It's all just like it's like prestige. Like it doesn't really matter. It's all just.
Oh
like,
really?
Yeah,
I
like
like
this is-
that.
right.
That's my
So-
new one. Better than bread knife.
I mean, I just can't believe there are still kids out there and families out there who really think it matters. It's like, how many more billionaires and like, super smart people do you need to see that?
I mean, they're definitely the minority.
Well,
Like,
I'm not saying
most of them work at
I'm not gonna say you're
7-Eleven.
the
Some of them are
billionaire,
Mark
but, like,
Zuckerberg.
But I mean, it just kind of goes to prove that like you inherently don't need it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm not saying you're gonna be a billionaire, but like if you pick a trade, you pick a focus, you do that. So my idea, if I'm ever confident and successful, is I'm gonna do an anti-college scholarship. I'm gonna pick one lucky kid, and you don't get to go to college. I don't fund you.
Oh,
to
the
go to
Warren
college.
Buffett.
No, he already doesn't. Fuck.
No, he doesn't. He did it with his kids.
He like here's the money you would get
Yeah,
and you go
I
to
think he offered all his kids,
my
like,
idea was kind of
$100,000,
like you
something like
come work for me from like for those 4 years and like you'll be better. I guarantee you'll be better off than if you did 4 years in college. But I guess it's already
We should
done.
definitely do that.
The anti-college scholarship.
It will not work out well. For them.
That sounds like the plot of a movie that would have like Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, and like Jay Baruchel and Seth Rogen and all those guys, where it's like, hell yeah, he's our anti-college student.
They're like, yeah, we
and he just
figured.
runs around smoking weed and all this shit. But like, if Seth Rogen did that right now with his weed company, I'd rather go 4 years at Seth Rogen University and learn all about like selling cannabis and shit.
See, I
He's
wouldn't
gonna make
be able to teach
so-
anyone anything.
But that's the thing, we don't teach, we just do, and they'll just like pick it up.
Yeah.
Nick, you learn anything from us?
I was actually thinking that. I've learned shit from this podcast. This is probably the weirdest one. I remember, and it's a health tip of anything that's stuck with me.
Wow.
Probably not true.
No, you guys said at one point, when you're working out, you haven't been working out, and then
Wait a minute, hang on. It's a workout tip?
no, it's you haven't been working out, and then you sneeze, and it feels like you're having a heart attack. Your arm goes numb, and I'm like, they're like, and you guys were like, oh, you just have to go for a run for about a week, and then that clears up. I was in college,
Nick,
like
none of this is true.
No way.
I know.
It's like, you know what stuck with me? A totally false thing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of that, but yeah, no.
Have you guys learned anything from this, from us? Have you learned from this podcast, or have you learned anything from work in your short time here?
I mean, from the podcast, yeah, like before.
Anything that sticks out?
I'm trying to think. I mean, like, probably the reason like I'm here, I guess, probably like one of John's mental breakdowns.
Yeah,
Probably
that's more like
like-
broad stroke
Yeah.
type stuff, like we taught you, like life doesn't matter, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. For sure that.
Again, you're going to be
no,
way
it's
worse.
right. No, I mean, I'm doing all right, but relative.
yeah, it's a relative term.
Relative term. No, I'll try to think of something.
Did you learn anything from us, Jackie? Nah.
I think like when I listened to it, like when I was younger, and like
How
I'm trying to
young were
think
you
of- figure out
when
how
you
to
started
say
listening to this?
guys, like I mean, it was like senior year of college
Okay,
to
that's not-
freshman, and then like
Wait, no, senior high school, you mean?
senior year of high school to freshman,
Okay.
and then I was like guys kind of scared me, and then I like listened to you guys, and I was like, oh no, like
Oh, they're just
they're
idiots.
kind of like dumb, like you
Hey,
know.
That's a good
That's a
tip.
really important thing
That's
that
a
she's
good
able to
tip.
like
Actually,
talk
like,
to
it's
guys now.
Also, guys should scare you.
Yeah. Also, they can
Most
still
of
kill
them
you.
aren't like us.
They will kidnap you. I would think that if you ask that question to everybody, to the audience, which we should do, maybe like tweet at us. How about you tweet at us?
Comment on the YouTube.
Comment on the YouTube. This motherfucker knows. And the most interesting thing that we taught you will get a free Maryland Bitcoin shirt. No, we'll give you
Literally the one I'm wearing.
we will give you some free merch. So
Shit's worth $40, so you should be fucking grateful for it.
so comment on the YouTube. Also, if you go to our Twitter account, there's a link on our Twitter. You click on it, it automatically subscribes you to our YouTube. It doesn't have to, you don't have to put in a new username and login. Your YouTube login is just your Gmail login. So log in with your Gmail, leave a comment with your username so we can get at you. Most important or effective or interesting or thing that stuck with you that we've ever taught you. And I would bet that it's much more like broad stroke shit. Like I always told people, like in the corporate world, like don't be the guy who like comes in early, stays late, never takes vacation, and always just like will do anybody's bitch work. Like have like a backbone and be like, no, because I think you really do get like more respect than. Now that's not to say like tell your boss to go fuck off if he asks to you to do work, but I think if you treat yourself like the office bitch, then like you are the office bitch. But I can't think there's any like tangible specific things that we teach people.
No, absolutely not. But I can teach something right now. I learned it yesterday.
Oh boy.
So I get to the airport yesterday, landed in LaGuardia, and when I land in airports, I think I've said this before, I don't do the fucking Lyft stuff. I don't do the Uber stuff. I just get in a cab.
Yeah,
line.
that's one of your weirder things. I think.
There's a taxi line.
Sometimes it makes sense, but sometimes it doesn't.
Dude, so yesterday I get in a taxi line, and this woman is like announcing to everybody. She's like, just so you guys know, this is a 30-minute wait. If you get an Uber, like it's 5 minutes, and you have to go upstairs for that. So obviously it's immediately out. And I in my head I was just like,
Wait, where are you? Home or there?
no, LaGuardia here.
Yeah. There's the upstairs and the downstairs. Yeah.
And LaGuardia here. No, not the LaGuardia in Denver. And in my head, I was like, she's just lying. Like she just doesn't feel like dealing with a line of people because like she had a ton to do to
It would be a
maintain
good
this
lie.
line.
It would be good.
Right?
Though.
I was like, she's just lying. Like it's gonna take 5 minutes. About 45 minutes later, I'd seen
You're still on that line.
yeah, and I'd seen a shitload of cabbies pull up. Not a soul, not one of them was wearing a mask. And I'm not a mask guy. Like I don't really like. I you know, if I see someone not wearing a mask, I'm like, why are you being a dick? Just put a mask on. But I'm not gonna say something about it, right? And my cabbie pulls up, no mask, right? Opens the trunk for me. I put my skis and shit in, and he's like, "Where you headed?" I said, I said my address and my cross streets, and he goes, the way I said it was, like how you would say, not like I was thinking of the W in here, like
Yeah.
I just said where,
21st and 7th.
okay,
whatever.
there's a
Yeah.
number. I couldn't think of
Pick
numbers.
up any numbers.
Right, and he's like, you're from here. Thank fucking God. Was hoping it wasn't gonna be a fucking tourist. Like that's a thing still.
Yeah.
Like tourists
last
in
time you had a
Manhattan.
tourist, yeah.
Right, and so I was immediately like, okay, we have, like he likes me now. Like we're kin, and so I didn't want to let him down. And we get so he asked me, he's like you want to take the tunnel, you want to take the bridge? I was like, actually, let's go Brooklyn Bridge. And he's like, fucking smart, I was gonna take you through the tunnel. I was like, okay. I just threw one out. I don't know.
I was gonna say you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then we get over the bridge, and he goes, hey, just so you know, if you want, you can take your mask off. And like someone who tells me I can take my mask off, I'm like, I don't. think I
No,
wanna
that
do
means
that. Like,
no one's had their
someone
mask
telling me
on,
I can take
yeah.
my safety off my gun. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What do you have planned? But this was because I don't want to let him down because we had this connection. So I just made up an excuse, and I was like, man, I've had it on for like 12 hours. It's like part of my face now. Like I didn't want to take it off.
Imagine
Like,
if you were just like, what mask? I don't know what you're talking about. This is my face.
I was
bro.
like, I've been wearing it for 12 hours. Everywhere's got all these fucking rules. It's fine. I'm just used to it. And he's like, all right. And then there's a lull, right? About 5 seconds. And he goes, gonna get the vaccine? And I was like, yeah,
that's the plan.
I'm gonna get it. And he goes, all right. And I was like, I clearly have to ask why. I'm like, why? He goes, well, what blood type are you? I don't fucking know, dude. I have no idea what blood type I am. Like,
That's another thing piece of information that we should have picked up from our parents, by the way.
yeah, I couldn't fucking tell
Gun
you.
to my head, couldn't tell you my kid's blood type either. Like, God forbid I'm ever in a tragedy. But can you give him the universal thing? I don't know. One of those.
Yeah. He goes, well, if you type O, you don't even need it. You're already vaccinated. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, you can Google it. I was like,
So in his world, nobody with type O has gotten corona.
don't need it. Don't need it. You're already vaccinated.
Is there like even a shred of truth to this? Like maybe type O.
I'm gonna be honest, I did not follow up with the Google. But then he goes, and type A. If you type A, you're gonna die. It's like, what? He goes, yeah. Everyone type A who's gotten the vaccine ended up on
dead.
a ventilator and dead. I was like, I just don't think that's true, man. He goes, Google it. Go ahead, Google it. I was like, dude, I don't think I believe you, man. Like, I don't think I do. I don't think everyone with type A blood has fucking died from the vaccine.
Blood type O has lower COVID contraction risk and organ complication. Hey, I don't know, John. The study says. Science says it.
Go ahead, Google
If
it.
science says it, then it's gotta be a thing. Type A might be increased risk.
But this isn't vaccine
So
stuff.
I'm reading here how different blood types affect. Nope, this is just the coronavirus. Nothing.
And
about
this
the
also relates to the fucking. Like, I shouldn't even be saying this into a microphone because some people are going to think it's true.
know.
Despite the fact that we're
famous.
laughing about it
We're
and saying it's
famous.
ridiculous, some people are like,
I
I don't know. I heard on
heard it
KFC radio
I heard
you
it on
die
a
if you get the vaccine. This isn't true, everybody, okay? Don't listen to this. It was a fucking cabbie. It was an anti-mask cabbie who told me this. It is downright irresponsible for me to be saying this into a microphone.
It really is. The power that we wield, man. The power that we wield is far too much. Far too much power.
Don't cry, and if you type A, don't get the vaccine.
Unbelievable. This show's all over the goddamn place.
All right, last.
Can I tell you one more thing that my dad taught me?
Sure, yeah.
Red sky at night, sailor's delight.
Yeah,
red sky at morning, sailors take warning. So if I'm ever, sailing, I'll know to prepare myself
Ever
for
fucking,
fucking,
start an
war.
excursion.
Yeah. If I'm ever
Is
gonna
the Nina ready? Okay. Hang on.
I remember trying to
Hang
make
on,
it
it's
to
a
the
red
North
sky this
Pole.
morning. We'll wait for tomorrow.
that also I can't imagine that's real. Right?
No.
It's like, I don't know, there's clouds during fucking sundown. We're fucked. Also, another thing I know, if you ever fall overboard, you take your pants off, you tie knots in the bottom, and you catch all the air. Turns into a flotation device. There you go.
Kevin, when was the last time you were even on the water?
I don't know. My dad taught me this boat shit. I'm not
When was
very
the time
often.
you saw water?
Not very often, but listen, if I'm ever out there and there's a red sky in the morning and then we're fucked, I'll know how to create a flotation device, John.
the dad's. This is another thing I have written down here. Is just. I was in Colorado this weekend. I went skiing. It is hands down the dumbest hobby humans have.
Skiing?
Yeah.
I've been saying this for years. I can't believe you guys do it.
It is
it's nuts. It's such a production. It's so expensive. You potentially rip your body apart. At best, you're super sore. At worst, you break your bones. And
I'm gonna do
and then you
math
just go up and
real
down. You
quick.
go up down. You go up down. Who cares? Who fucking cares?
Okay, let's say, right, so I skied a half day Friday, full day Saturday, half day Sunday. Let's say I did 7 runs Sunday. I probably did 7 Friday. There's 14. I'll give myself I did 15 on Saturday. So that's 29. Takes about 6 minutes for a run. So 174. What's 174 divided by 60? Awesome. So 2.9 hours is about what I paid, about $3,000. Maybe.
It's the equivalent of when people say there's 7 minutes of action in a football game. That's what
Paid
skiing
about
is.
$3,000 for 2.9 hours of mild fun.
I
had a good time.
I
It was
can't
fun.
believe you enjoy skiing.
I really
You're
really
the
like.
après ski guy, right?
No, I'm actually.
You enjoy going down the mountain?
I'm quite a good skier, and I really like it. But I like those 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I have those 6 minutes of fun, and then I stand in the line for 30 minutes, and I'm furious the whole time.
Yeah. To me,
and then I get
it
on a
seems
lift
like the
with
most
a stranger.
Feels like the most archaic thing that we do. It feels like dumb. It feels like a dumb hobby where it's we go up the mountain and then we slide down it. And then we wait online. We go back up. We slide down it again. Sometimes I hop in the air.
Dude,
sometimes I turn around. Sometimes I wear one ski. Sometimes I wear two. I snowboard. It's okay.
And it's
And then
never because it is an upper class fucking hobby, so they can just make up prices.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Skiing, the price to go skiing has gone up 4 times in my lifetime,
and you just,
0 upgrades.
No.
Nothing's. There's
no.
The fucking lift is in this warm. Fucking,
no, it's probably the same, literally the same one they made.
It's not the fucking cabana where they serve me a drink inside.
Right,
And now that's
right.
what I think when I started skiing, when I was a kid, it was probably $50 for a day pass. $200 now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No reason. There's been literally 0 upgrades in the sport.
Do you think, it's weird to me? I think you're all dumb. That's what I think. I think I'm smarter than all you guys, and that's why I don't do these things.
Sure.
Probably. The extreme sports type shit. It's you just get off on going really fast. You know what I mean? It's weird that we still there's some sort of adrenaline and some sort of happiness and dopamine associated with you go down the mountain really fast, or you get pulled by the boat really fast, or whatever the sport that we're doing is. It's ooh. It's tell me about it. It's like I said, well, I went to the top of the mountain, and then I went really fast down it. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like you feel as you as society has gotten smarter and progressed and shit, that we would be entertained in more like sophisticated ways. But there's still just something about people like, I want to stand on something slippery and go really fucking fast down it. You know what I mean?
That's
like
white
ice skating
people shit.
too. Yeah, white people.
It's
yeah,
like,
right,
I forget what, I'm sure there have been many black comics who've done it, but like there's one in particular that I remember who I don't remember who said it, but it was just like, it's like white people need to do this shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's just day-to-day life for me.
Right.
I might die.
They just need to. Yeah, they need to experience some sort of rush because everything else is just so fucking easy all the time. Yeah, like ice skating too, though. It's like I'm gonna wait online and pay all this money and then put on these shoes with like knives on the bottom just to slip around on the fucking ground for like an hour. It's like, okay, these are all so stupid.
It's like literally.
Like, would you rather
very, very brief, fleeting moments of fun? Like my buddy who I went skiing with is, he's a dad, he has a toddler, and he was just like, we were just like talking at dinner on Saturday night, I think, and I was like, yeah, like I'm like not gonna have kids. He's like, dude, like come on, like you can't, like you wouldn't have fun like carrying your kids skis and like teaching them ski. And I was like, bro, you're describing my least favorite parts of this.
I was gonna say that is
like,
not the pitch,
like
man.
what you're saying, like those are the parts where I'm like, maybe I'm just gonna stop
Carry
skiing
your
because
kids.
I hate the parts you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you're using it as a selling point for a child.
Well, that's a really anybody who wants to try to convince you to have a child. Don't you want to carry your kids' skis?
Yeah, it's like, and then like,
Dude, don't you want to wipe the shit out of their ass? No. No. But you will love when you got to pay tuition. You will love it. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome.
like this is like these are the worst selling points of all time. Where it's like, I mean, literally, they're like when I'm doing it, I'm just mumbling cunt the whole time. Like, oh, you fucking
why am I
cunt,
here?
motherfucking.
But then you get to the top and you're like, wee.
I'm like, this is
woo.
fun for 6 minutes, and then it's like, this is fucking. Stupid
You are
fucking thing.
that
It's the worst.
TikTok. That TikTok when the dogs are like, wee, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's just John. He's like a golden retriiever, just like going down the mountain. Like, wee, woo. It's you're a simpleton. Would you rather in a weekend? Since let's say, because you said it's like 2.5 hours of time.
It was 2.9.
Okay, so almost 3 hours.
Roundabouts.
Would you rather have a normal weekend and you watched like the best movie you've ever seen, like a 2.5 hour movie that's like, wow, that was like the best movie I've ever seen, or go skiing in like Colorado?
Probably go skiing. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh, how about this? Okay.
Like I fucking.
Would
yo,
you rather
I got
you go skiing, Colorado again, like beautiful, like let's say the most, the best conditions, all that shit, or you watch Fast and Furious 10 that weekend,
Well, 10?
or whatever. What's what 9? Went to 9?
No, 9's not out yet, Kevin.
Really? I thought we were already on 9.
No.
So we've done 8.
We've
9's
done
coming
8.
out. Okay. Not Fast and the Furious weekend. It's premiere weekend. Let's say you can buy it on advance, on demand for $30.
Oh no, I want to be in the theater for that.
Yeah. So you wouldn't. So perfect ski weekend, premiere weekend for
Probably
Fast.
ski weekend. then.
Really? You would miss the premiere of Fast and the Furious 9 to go skiing? You know, John, you've gone skiing like once since I've known you.
I go ski every year.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, no, I probably only ski like 5 days a year, but I go ski pretty much every year.
And instead of seeing Fast 9?
Because I can watch it on Monday.
Saying so.
It is.
You know what?
Stupid. The fact that we like skiing is idiotic.
I bet you there was a collective gasp on the podcast listeners right now. Everybody went, what?
It's like most of my decisions. It's not the right one, but it is just what my gut tells me to do.
What about if there's a premiere of a brand new Ryan Gosling movie?
Is he in Fast 9? Well, then. No.
If Ryan Gosling's in Fast 9, what happens then? Come on, you got to go see the God Gosling.
Yeah, probably.
We're doing top 5 Ryan Gosling movies today for no reason at all. No reason. We were trying to come up with like, should we do a top 5 on spring break, on March Madness, on this, on that? Nothing. We're doing a completely unrelated Ryan Gosling movies, which is a surprisingly big catalog. So I think it actually ended up working because I was like, okay, I can't even think of 5 Gosling movies. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, okay. So top 5. Because you know what? I think we would be buddies with Ryan Gosling.
You think so?
I think we would get along with him.
I mean, his dog's got a mohawk, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think he's a cool cat. I think we could sit down and have a Miller Lite with him, and like he could kick it, and we could watch. We could like talk about.
You want to know why? Because he's Canadian.
You like Canadians?
Cool.
Canadians are pretty cool. They're pretty nice people.
Never met a bad Canadian.
I also feel like when you're an actor, when you're an actor, couldn't you just always act and be cool?
Yeah, he's just lying the whole time.
Yeah, like I remember like when we interviewed Mark Paul Gosselaar, he was like, that's like I'm not Zach Morris. I was like, why not? 'Cause you can clearly just be him. He's super fucking cool. Like make him you. So same thing with Ryan Gosling. He can play some cool cats. Like just be that guy, and then we'll be fucking friends. We'll be buddies. So you could sit down and crack open some Miller Lights and enjoy it with Gosling. You know who else we can sit down and drink some Miller Lights with? Is our buddy Coach Doug's. Coach Doug's had himself
was
a night.
slamming drinks.
Doug's. Every time we somebody pointed out it would be on Doug's, and we would cut to someone else giving a point, and it would cut back to Doug's, and his beer was gone. Because the man loves him some Miller Lights, as do I, as does Ryan Gosling. You can take that to the bank. It's an official statement. Ryan Gosling loves Miller Lights. That should be your next. That should be your next slogan. Miller.
Another false topic you learned on this podcast. I think we have to technically say it's not true.
Yeah. Apparently not. But
he probably does. He probably does.
Yes, because he's a Canadian. He's up north. This is brewed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where they know how to brew beer the right way, and they figured it out. They cracked the system. They cracked the code. You can have a great taste Miller Lite that's only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. The original light beer, you can get delivered right to your door by going to MillerLite.com/KFC. Get all the delivery options near you. Have them sent right to your front step. Celebrate responsibly with the Miller Brewing Company from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Go to MillerLite.com/KFC. All right. Top Ryan Gosling movies. I feel like I've stolen first pick many a time in a row, so you can go first.
Okay,
I
easy.
wanted to steal
The Nice Guys.
Oh, okay, good.
The Nice Guys is hands down.
It's one of the more underrated movies.
It's not.
It's one of those we say it's underrated, but it's not.
Yeah, it's underviewed.
The Nice Guys is the Adrian Beltre of movies. It's like, we've just been saying for 20 years he's underrated. He's not underrated. He's properly rated.
It is.
He's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, we know.
Not enough people have seen it, but it is a 10 out of 10. I think actually recently Lights Camera Barstool reviewed it or whatever, and I think Jeff and Ken Jack had it in the 90s. I think a 94 and a 96 maybe something like that. And I was like, those are too low. It's 100 out of 100. It is as good as comedic duo as there is of all time.
I'm gonna go good. I'm gonna go with what I probably would have been my first pick. Much like I was just saying, just act like this guy and be cool. Crazy Stupid Love. He is so fucking cool in Crazy Stupid Love. The way he dresses, the way he acts, the way he's kind of subtle with chicks. I mean, it's just I want to be him. If there's a guy to strive for,
it is unfairly.
If you
cool.
were trying to really strive for all that is man, and it's not to be like Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious. It's not because being the best guy is not about just being like a meathead who's strong. It's also about being kind of cool. It's also about being kind of emotional. All that shit. The way he dresses, the way he acts, the way he is with girls, the way he is with guys, the way he everything is what you want to do, right?
That first night with Emma Stone when they don't have sex, I'm like, perfect night.
Perfect. Every line kills, everything kills.
It is a smooth night.
Yeah, he is. I mean, and on top of it, he just looks like a fucking stud.
It is. I think what does Emma Stone say? Oh, come on.
Photoshop. Yeah, incredible. All right, you're up.
All right, number 2, I'm gonna go with. Oh man, there's so many under the radar really good ones. So I'm not gonna take one intentionally, and I'm gonna give it. I think you're probably gonna want it. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna take Fracture. Fracture is. If you
if you were leaving something for me, you probably should have left me Fracture.
Oh really?
No, but continue.
Okay. I mean, Fracture is.
It's amazing. It's not. But go ahead. Yeah.
The first time I ever watched Fracture was when I was visiting Florida State with my mom, and we were sharing a hotel room, and I went out I think because I was talking to the club hockey coach or whatever, so I went out with a couple of the club hockey guys, and came back to the hotel drunk as hell. But I was still young enough where I don't really tell my mom that I'm drunk, so I was just pretending to be sober.
You watched that movie?
And we watched Fracture. No. Me and my mom watched it together.
Oh.
and I was like, it was so good, it sobered me up. Well, I was like, wait, this movie's unbelievable. I gotta snap into it.
He's a lawyer and
he's a prosecutor. He's a prosecutor with, I don't know if it's a perfect record, but 97% or something like that.
Right.
And he's up for promotions, and they're like, don't take this case. And he's like, no, it's my last case. I want to, because then he's going to go into the private sector or go into defense attorney and all that stuff.
Right.
And they're like, like the big law firm he's gonna go work at. Like, if you lose this case, like you're out.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm taking this case. And it's just
And there's all sorts of like grimy, dirty shit going on, right?
I wouldn't say there's a ton of grimy shit.
It's just that he's like got like
He's just got
up
Anthony
against,
Hopkins killed his wife, and he's got to prove that he did it.
Right.
And they can't find the gun.
Right.
And like there's no like Anthony Hopkins never left the house, so they're like, how the fuck did he kill his wife if he's never left the house? But
Right.
There's no,
But he
there's
did
no
do it.
weapon. Like they just won't.
I'm
stop
gonna
taking-
rewatch that like tonight.
I don't know,
because I know it's good, but I
watch
I
this
don't
goddamn
remember.
Maryland game.
Okay, my next pick is gonna be what's that one called? Hang on, it's on the list. I don't even know the name, but I know it's dope. I can't remember it. It's a weird The Place Beyond the Pines.
Oh, good one.
Great one. Now that is underrated.
That
Like not many people know about. I think that because that was like a small release. I don't think it was like a major. I think it was like an indie flick or something like that. It wasn't like a monster.
I don't know if it was a small release.
I don't think he was who he was yet, and I feel like it was like.
It's where he met Eva Mendes. It's where he met his
That's
wife.
what, yeah, God,
Bradley Cooper's in that.
What a couple they are. Bradley Cooper's in it?
Yeah, Bradley Cooper's in Place on the Lines.
Oh yeah. Wow. So maybe I'm wrong then. I mean that's a Bomb Squad cast. So I thought I remember that being like a little thing. But
that was one of
that's
the
another
wilder...
one I gotta rewatch because I remember being like, this is some intense shit. Like it's a good movie.
That's it's actually still the only time I've ever seen it. I went to go see that the day after, 2 days after maybe, the marathon bombing. Ooh. And during the movie, my phone kept vibrating nonstop in my pocket. And I was there with the girl I liked, so I didn't want to like
be like rude.
Yeah. And so like I was just ignoring my phone. And then we walk outside and like Boston is just shut down. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I finally take my phone out of my pocket, and the manhunt had started.
Yeah.
And it was like it was the night before like, it was really shut down. But we went to see like a 10:00 show and came out and like it was the manhunt was on. And that's when I came home and we were all like on a Zoom together and like it was like manhunting and stuff like that. But that was that night that I saw that.
Dude, have you ever heard of a better? If someone said to me like, "Yo, tell me about like what's it about?" This is the movie info on Rotten Tomatoes. In upstate New York, two men and later their sons must deal with the unforeseen consequences of their actions. I mean, you can say that about like any movie. Like a family does things, and then stuff happens because of it, and they must deal with it. Every movie that's ever made, men do things and then react. Great. All right, you're up.
All right, number 3. Another. I'm going deep cuts.
Apparently.
Number 3. A Perfect Murder. No, Murder by Numbers. Wait, no, A Perfect Murder.
No.
Murder by Numbers.
Murder
by Numbers. Yeah, with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Unbelievable movie.
I feel like I don't know that movie.
Oh,
but I know that movie. You know what I mean?
It's him and what's his fucking name? This really he's a weird looking dude. You would know him if you saw him.
Ben Chaplin.
Is that his name?
Michael Pitt. I mean, I'm looking at him, so I know what you're talking about. He's got that stupid haircut.
No,
okay.
it's Michael Pitt. Yeah, and it is.
The body of a young woman is found in a ditch in the woods of small California coastal town of San Benito. A tenacious homicide detective, Sandra Bullock, and her new partner, Ben Chaplin, uncover a tale of shrewdly concealed evidence that links two brilliant young men, Ryan Gosling and Michael Pitt, to the murder.
It is
a very dope movie.
Unbelievable. I'm going to watch that one tonight, too. Have you guys seen
we should do a
Murder by Numbers? Unbelievable.
We should do a Gosling-thon. Yeah. Just nonstop Gosling all night long.
Really, I can't even talk about it because the twist is so fucking good. It is unreal. 10 out of 10 movie.
You left me with some choices here. I'm gonna take the Blade Runner movie.
I haven't seen it. I'm glad you said it because I knew people were gonna get mad if it wasn't on the list.
Well, there's another. There's one more that we have to take at some point,
which I haven't seen either.
I know that's why. That's what I was gonna say.
You have to take that one.
I was gonna say I'll have to take that, and that'll be fine. But it's funny that neither of us are big fans of that movie when we're like two gay balls who should be. But Blade Runner's 3 hours long. It's obnoxiously long. Let me get the exact runtime. I think it's obscene. But it is, if you are into, it's Jeff Gillo's favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's literally his favorite movie ever. It's
the only clip I've ever seen of it. I don't even think it was in previews. The only clip I've seen is that Kanye one, where it looks like it's snowing, but it's just
One? Oh yeah,
it's
when
just
he-
snowing like
yeah,
on the
yeah.
screen, but it looks like it's snowing.
It's one of those. It's visually like a perfect movie if you're into that sort of shit, the effects and the whole thing. But it's a cool like futuristic, the world like a dystopian
Great
future.
jacket. Love a good jacket.
Great jacket, and it's like I think it's I would say the only movie of its kind where it has Harrison Ford. It's Blade Runner 2049 because it's like the sequel to his Blade Runner, Harrison Ford's from like 1985, whenever that came out. Usually those movies like don't work, you know? And I think this one like did. It's like usually when you try to, is that Ana de Armas in that? Yeah, she's in it too?
Really?
Wow, yeah. Ana de Armas is such a fucking rocket. Usually that idea is kind of like, it doesn't work. It's almost like when they did Coming to America 2 just recently and everyone was like, it's one
I
of those,
haven't even seen a tweet about that movie.
right. It checks the box and you're like, okay, that was cool. But it wasn't like what it was supposed to be. This is that as far as those, and like for sci-fi nerds, it's that shit. So I'll take it.
Okay, so I'm on number 4.
Yep.
My number 4, I'm gonna go. Remember the Titans?
I see. I see. Here's the thing: is that I mean, yeah,
That's a
it's-
Denzel
it's-
movie.
Yeah,
right?
is it?
But Gosling also Gosling's
he
got
has
pretty,
a role in it, but it's not. I was thinking like, can we take this or not? Like, yeah, it's on the list, but it's not a Gosling movie.
It is. I also have
Although-
resentment for that movie because of how many people steal the tweet that Ryan Gosling was a liability at cornerback, and like people just always like just remember Ryan Gosling was a liability at cornerback. It's like shut up,
Yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
fucking come up with that idea.
Right.
That tweet's been a viral tweet for 10 years
Since
in a
the
row
movie came
now.
fucking out. Yeah. I will say, as much as that's not a Ryan Gosling movie, very few people could play. Like, he's perfect as Sunshine. You know what I mean? Like, there's not many guys who have that look or have the stature of it all. I'll allow it. My 4th pick here.
Yeah.
Since I know what my 5th pick is, I got that in my back pocket. I did not really care for La La Land.
Oh shit! Fuck. There are like 3 other movies I want.
No, there's a lot of good movies.
Wait, I'm dropping it. I'm doing unprecedented move. I'm dropping Remember the Titans. Dropping it.
Okay.
Adding The Big Short.
I don't know if I can allow that because I was thinking I was going to pick that.
Okay, fine. Then I'm adding La La Land. I'll take whichever one. Like, I love La La Land. Fine, I'll take La La Land. Drop it. That's done. It's off
You're
the
out
list.
on Remember the Titans?
Out on it. That's more of a Hayden Panettiere movie than is a Ryan Gosling
Well,
movie. I'm offended I even said it.
But now the thing is, are we picking just good movies or are we picking Ryan Gosling movies? Because if you're going to drop it all together, I might pick up Remember the Titans because Remember the Titans is an awesome movie. It's just not a good Ryan Gosling movie.
Okay, fine. Pick it up. Fine, you take it. I
think-
got La La.
I think in that case,
I got too offended. I got too obsessed with going deep cuts.
Yeah,
I got about
you
the
did.
classics.
You gotta play the hits,
I didn't
bro.
play Crazy Game of Poker. It's crazy.
you got to play that. I'm gonna have to take. I'm gonna take Remember the Titans off your hands. You can have La La Land and Big Short.
I can have them both.
Right? That's what you wanted.
So we had a trade happening.
Yeah, you can take. I'll give you those 2.
Okay.
But I get to have 6 movies on my list.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So you can have a top 5, but I get.
Okay, so my top 5 will be 1, Nice Guys, Fracture, Murder by Numbers, Big Short, La La Land.
and I'm gonna add. So and I don't remember any of mine already. I'm gonna add Crazy Stupid Love. Oh, I kicked your ass. I got Crazy Stupid Love. I know I had Blade Runner, but one before Blade Runner. What did I pick before?
Place on the Pines.
Pines. So Crazy Stupid Love, Pines, Blade Runner. I'm gonna take. I'll take Remember the Titans off your hands. I get Drive.
Fuck.
And
great one.
I get
Notebook.
Notebook.
God damn.
And
Yo, Gosling's a fucking killer, man.
because you know what
These are 11 fantastic movies.
and what we left off, we missed. There's a big one. Where was it? Where's the big one that we missed? You got La La Land. We got Nice Guys. There's 2. There's where is it?
Gangster Squad.
I don't know that
I haven't
one.
seen that one.
You got Fracture, right?
Fracture, yeah.
You know what's not a good movie, but a great topic? All good things is the Robert Durst movie. They should like redo that movie after the Jinx came out.
Yes,
Now
yes,
that
yes.
the Jinx came out and like people know that story and shit.
I watched that
They
afterwards.
could redo
yeah.
that. It was not like he didn't. I also think he was like too good looking to play it too. It was kind of like a
And
weird,
I don't think they ever said it's not Robert Durst.
right.
He's
It's
just
like
playing-
very very much
it's Robert
based
Durst,
on
but
him.
it's not. Like, they're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
saying this is Robert Durst.
Right.
Yeah.
There was that one, and then is Blue Valentine a big deal?
Blue Valentine's a good one.
Yeah, that got
Blue Valentine was a
86%.
movie I watched with a girlfriend when it came out, and I was just like, we should break up. like we both experienced that trauma together. We're not gonna get over this, are we?
Yeah, man, he's got diesel movies.
Diesel movie.
Pleasure to do business with you, though.
Yeah, that was
The unprecedented
nice
move.
draft action
Yeah.
there.
we should start doing trades like that where it's like I get the number 1 pick, but you get like 2 and 3 or something.
Yeah.
Like that. When there's a clear cut like number 1 pick that you want. By the way, shout out to Tommy and Hubs at one point owned like 4 teams in the Blockfolio tournament.
Did any of them make it?
No, they did because they got Oral Roberts taken away, which went to the girls, and then they made it. But the girls took that team and made
Yeah.
it, which I would have been fucking bullshit about.
Right.
But then one of their other teams did make it, so
Okay.
they were like, okay, we're good. But if one of my teams got taken away and that was the only team that made it, oh baby, I'd be fucking furious. All right, so tweet at us your top 5 Ryan Gosling movies, and now let's get into our what?
All the gambling guys overloaded the elevator. The elevator stopped moving and said overload.
Look at this. Overweight. We got a fucking overload on the elevator.
They are literally too fat to transport.
It's a 2,000-pound limit.
Who's in the elevator? Marty, Glennie, Don.
I'll put this clip in.
Is that Jake Marsh? Poor Jake Marsh is like, really, guys?
Who's that? Is that Jake?
Nick Mulcahy.
Okay, that's what I
I
thought.
don't know that.
Don. Who's that back there? Chief?
Jack.
Oh, it's Jack Mac.
And TJ.
It's T.O.
TJ, Glennie, and Don are doing work there.
Yeah, they're carrying the lion's share of that overload.
How about air balls this weekend? You see him getting off the ground like a full 6-inch vert? It was amazing. Loved it. How about at one point you see him rub his belly?
No.
At one point he just pulls his shirt up and just sort of like a nervous tick. Like there was 10 seconds left and he's like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. like the Pillsbury Doughboy, like rubbing his belly, like rubbing you and make a wish or something. Okay, voicemails today are brought to you by Revitalite. We are in the middle of March, brother. That means we had St. Patrick's Day. We've got the tournament. A lot of March birthdays that I know. I feel like a lot of parents were doing some fucking in, what was that, June? June the year before? Did you see Sales Guy's tweet?
Oh, yeah. Horseneck
Like,
Beach. That's
that
right by my
what
parents'
we're
house.
fucking-
Yeah.
He was like, shout out to my dad for crushing my mom 40 years ago back in the day. So
I said
Jesus Christ,
Horseneck
yeah.
Beach, like probably the South Coast League in Massachusetts. Horseneck Beach probably leading the league in conceptions.
People fucking.
Yeah.
Can
Like,
you
yeah.
believe that Gaz is like a human that has like parents? Like he was conceived on this earth. Like he's not just like an animal who came from a cave.
And his
somewhere.
dad's the fucking man.
Is he?
too. His
Yeah.
dad's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think I've met his mom, but his dad's the fucking man.
Does he have siblings?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. They must be. That's a weird, that's a weird thing. So anyway, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like shit that goes on in March where you're gonna be doing some celebrating. You're gonna be doing some drinking. And honestly, I could just drink this straight. Like this is just a good drink.
Very good.
Like it's just a good like
And very, very useful.
yeah,
Like,
man.
it is.
It hydrates the
truly
fuck out of you.
works.
Like forget about okay, yes, it's the hangover drink, but also like when you're older like me and everyone says like, you got to drink your water, you got to drink like your body weight in water, and like your body hurts and your brain hurts and your fucking like eyeballs and your heart hurts. You're dehydrated. Everything is you're dehydrated. So just stay hydrated, bro.
Speaking of like hydration, it is very funny how like people's like, oh, you have a headache? Water.
Yeah.
Like,
But
it was-
also it's funny how it works. Like fuck. Like I drink the water, I'm like, damn it.
I remember this weekend we were like, so obviously it was a very quick trip. Got out there Thursday night, came back Sunday, and we had some altitude sickness Thursday night because I mean we're great. Like I have a sunburn. Like it's
Yeah, you look ridiculous.
I'm so close to the sun. Like it is. It was 14,000 feet up.
Jesus
13,000 feet up.
Christ.
Like that's half the height of a plane.
Yeah.
I'm
That is-
really, really high up.
That is nuts. Dude. So were you feeling it like you couldn't like really breathe?
Oh yeah, you can't like I mean like when I was skiing I was fine. When I'm hanging on the couch I'm fine. But like the two things I really noticed are one, going upstairs, two, putting on my boots. Like it is like really, really breathing. But so I Googled what can I do to be better at this? And tip one was have at least a 5-day trip. So you have time to acclimate.
Adjust. Yeah.
And tip two was don't drink alcohol. And I was like, all right, so there's
there's
no solution.
There's only so we're just gonna hope for, we're gonna do 5-day trips.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'm out here for 3 days, so just like no solution.
But yeah, that dehydration shit really is the truth. And so you can drink Revitolite whether you're just getting old and you need to hydrate, or if you're trying to get over that hangover, you drink it before you go out and party. You drink it after that night, then you drink it in the morning, and it is the 3-prong attack to fight off that hangover. It's now also available in the Barstool store, so you can head over to the Barstool store. You can get your sad boy gear. You can get your self-doubt sweatshirts. You can get what's the new shit? I think I have something new out there.
Kevin Clancy show.
Yeah, we have the UFO hoodie that's out now. We got a lot of Viva gear stuff coming out for the spring soon. And then you can also swoop by and pick up some Revitolite and get it all shipped right to your door so you can look fresh and feel fresh when you're drinking your Revitolite. Got to get through March Madness. It is crazy. There's a lot of upsets. There's a lot of money being made. There's a lot of money being lost. So you're going to have to drink your way through that. You're going to need some Revitolite. You want to party for the final, for the last couple weekends where you're doing... Like the best is those St. Patrick's Day, like the next weekend, where it's like, oh, we got to celebrate St. Patrick's Day again. It's like it just keeps going. St. Patrick's Day until March is over. So as long as you're drinking, you got to be drinking Revitolite. Okay, so go to the Barstool Sports store. Be sure to get yours today and use a school promo code at checkout and get 10 extra votes for that school going towards the Barstool Best Bar competition. So when you're checking out, there's a spot for the code. Put your college code in there, and that will get you 10 extra votes for the Best Bar competition. So not only can you drink Revitolite, get hydrated, get rid of that hangover, you can pay back to your favorite college bars that you spent all your time getting drunk and getting hungover in by winning the Best Bar competition. So go to store.barstoolsports.com, buy your Revitolite, and use the school promo code at checkout for 10 extra votes in the Barstool Best Bar competition. All right, voicemails. Let's let it rip, Jackie.
Hey guys, what's up? KFC Feits. Just a question, hypothetical here. If you can only listen to one song from each decade that you've been alive to play for the rest of your life, to listen to, what would it be? Viva.
So we get 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010s.
2020s.
2020. So we get 5 songs. Boy, we've been alive for in 5 decades. I was gonna say 3.
Yeah.
But it's like no.
Man, that's a hard fucking question. Gut, right? I'm gonna see when this one came out. Yeah, okay, perfect.
Damn it.
1986, number 1, my 80s. Manic Monday.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Manic Monday? Just another Manic Monday.
Even I know what that is.
That's my fun day. Yeah, okay, so it's about a school shooting.
Yikes.
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of 2 different songs. I'm thinking of...
You're thinking of Pumped Up Kicks.
No. I'm thinking of the Tell Me Why I Don't Like Mondays. That is... Oh, Manic Monday's a dope song. I'm going to stick with it.
That's perfect for you.
For 1986. What? The school shooting?
Yeah, no, well. the Mondays thing, the Mondays off kid is like, forget it.
It is a... It's a song my dad used to always play for me, and like I don't know why. Like it's just okay, but it's by the Boomtown Rats, and it's a right. Is this the one? Let me listen to it real quick. But it was someone shot up a school, and like she got interviewed afterwards by like the news, and they were like, "Why did you do that?" She's like, "I don't like Mondays."
Christ.
I don't know why me and my dad would always listen to that song. It's very...
Fuck is wrong with you guys? Jesus Christ almighty. So you're 80 songs about like slaughtering children in school. I wanted to go with I
don't like Mondays. Tell me why I don't like
And this is the song you guys all know?
No, Manic
know
Monday's also got a dope story behind it, though. Manic Monday was written by Prince and given to the Bengals because he wanted to fuck their lead singer, and
Prince did.
Yeah, and like he just kind of like
What an honor that is.
and then Manic Monday topped out on the charts at number 2, behind number 1. I forget the Prince song. I think it was Prince. I think it was Kiss.
So he had both,
Right?
technically.
But the first song was about doing ridiculous things for a girl. You really
That's
liked.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. Man, I thought I was hoping Scenes from an Italian Restaurant was in the 80s, but that's 1977. Because that's just my favorite song of all time, but I can't get that. 80s, it's gonna have to be. I really don't like the 80s, so it'll have to just be like another Billy Joel song from that era, because that's the only thing I really like from back then. But I also feel like a lot of the Billy Joel songs I like then creep into the 90s.
The 90s, God, I'm just going gut. I'm not going on like songs I really like or whatever. But 90s, my gut, Marcy Playground, Sex and Candy. I don't know why.
That's a very 90s pick, you know, like the 90s. You got a lot of people probably pick like Nirvana or like Guns N' Roses. You get the grunge going. You get that like Marcy's Playground is a very. It's
Brick,
not. It's
Brick
like,
would have been another one.
Yeah.
Fucking what's Freshman, The Verve.
Yeah, it's almost like what are your favorite songs? You know what what's the better thing is? Let's pick songs
Guerrilla
that
Radio.
represent that era.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like if I'm thinking 80s, I'm thinking like some synth shit, like the that song, or like Hey Mickey, or you know, one of those like 80s songs. It's just like when I think of the 80s song, 80s
Bowie's 80s, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure. Well, I think
like
Bowie's
you could do 10 million Bowie songs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's why I don't want to go like my bet. I'm just going gut. That's all I'm going on.
When you think
2000s
of 90s
country
music,
grammar.
what?
Just gut. Just going gut. I'm just shooting
that.
from the hip.
Yep, I like that. What's your 90s? Like the Marcy's Playground set?
90s, I'm gonna go Sex and Candy.
Sex and Candy.
Yeah.
2000s. What's your 2010s?
2010s, I'm gonna go Party in the USA.
Okay, and now 2020s.
2012.
It's gotta
Fuck.
be like a song, like a brand new song.
It's gonna be a Taylor song.
Yeah.
It's like that's
Yeah.
it's gonna be some probably Dorothea.
I like that. That's the kind of the better way to do it though. Like defining the decade. Decades are so long, man. If you think about a song that's made in 1990 and like the last song in 1999, you know, 1990 you're going. It's like old music kind of, and 1999 into 2000 is like.
I wonder was
music,
Country
man.
Grammar. Yeah, Country Grammar was definitely 2000,
Like
right?
03-ish. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Big album. People don't
Yeah.
realize, man. He went diamond.
Did he really?
Yeah, that album went diamond. Like big fucking. I saw Dragonfly Jones was tweeting. He always does a great job, kind of like Tyler, just like tweeting the discussion. But somebody said Jay-Z is like the most popular rapper ever, who was never the most popular rapper ever at the time. And you know, somebody was laughing like because someone brought up Nelly. And they were like Jay-Z's not better than Nelly. And it's like, no, he's not like better than Nelly. But in like 2002, I think it was, Country Grammar was like it. And in like 03, it was 50 Cent. And you know, there was always somebody who spiked higher than him.
Yeah.
But all the while, he's been like the most and I actually don't know if I believe that. Like there was a run when he was doing like Hard Knock Life.
Yeah,
and all
I
that.
would say like Big Pimpin' and shit,
But
that era was like.
But you know, that might have been. I'm trying to think of just like the other in the early days, like Biggie was bigger than Jay-Z. But I think like right after Biggie's death, when he was putting out like Volume 2, which had like his first like kind of like commercial.
Was that
hits.
Money Ain't a Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Volume 2 had
That was when I
and
first
had-
heard of Jay-Z.
and had like Money Cash Hose and Can I Getta?
Yeah.
And Hard Knock Life. Like that was probably his most commercial hits album. So I think that was probably. I think that would be the time where he was definitively like the best. But all his other times, there was always like some flavor of the moment that was really like blowing up, or he was killing it, but like down south started to pop. So like Lil Wayne was bigger, but he was, shit like that. So it's an interesting thought that he was never actually the best, all the while being the best.
Being the best.
Yeah. I mean, the best meaning, most sales or most popular, whatever.
He had Dragonfly always talks about too. Not always, but I do agree that he's very good at like having discussions on Twitter.
Yeah. That's
Whereas,
why
like,
I always try to
just
quote
say things
tweet.
and I just get mad at people.
Yeah.
He'll have like talks.
I try to quote tweet my replies because I'm trying to talk to like everybody. I don't want to talk to just that one person. I'm trying to like keep the discussion going. So I think he does a lot of that too, where he quote tweets the reply to be like,
let's talk more.
furthering
Right.
it, to other people. Yeah.
But I think he one time had a thread about Drake, where it's just like it's weird that if you ever asked like someone, you know, like, oh, like is Drake like a well respected, like great rapper? And almost everyone would be like, nah. Like,
Yeah.
he's like kind of like, and he's been doing it for 10 years. He's
I know.
been the number one rapper in the world for 10 years.
Jared
and people still don't like respect him like that.
Jared and Dallas were interviewing Al Leiter's son, Jack Leiter,
Uh-huh.
and it was like, what kind of music do you listen to, like pregame or like before your start? And he's like, I like to go old school with it. Like I'll put on some Drake, and Jared, and then we're like, oh my god,
What?
like, that's old school.
That's on it. That's on Jack Leiter. That's ridiculous. Drake is still one of the he's still the best rapper.
I think he meant like he'll put early Drake on, but the fact
Okay,
that Drake's been around long enough to have
like I actually
you know.
I just said 10 years. It's probably 15.
I mean,
right?
his first shit was like 09-ish, 08, 09.
Yeah,
So like we're talking like 13 years almost. I don't know, whatever the math is there, but like, yeah, there are. That's like when I'm like I'm into some new rap. Like I listen to like I like Childish Gambino's album. It's like that was like 2011, dude. You asshole. That's
on
a
her
good.
face is still
One of the greatest.
one of the
That
greatest
whole
songs.
album.
Like,
That whole album is loaded with such.
What does he say?
Coming on her face now. That's poetry in motion.
Yeah.
So fucking good. And there's so many good. He has so many good puns about being black and Asian with black and yellow and like eyes of different types. It's all very good. Tweet at us though. That's a good one. Your best song, your favorite song, and also what you think embodies each decade that you were alive in. Next up.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just got some brutal news for people who live in Utah. Should a bill pass, they will start selling all cell phones in the state of Utah with a built-in filter to block porn. So my question to you guys is, if one day you just woke up and there was just a widespread ban on porn, what would you give up to get porn back? Would it be some amount of money, a physical thing, whatever? Like, what would you justifiably give up to get back to beating your dicks, I guess? Good one, guys.
So is this just specifically on the phone, or are we just not talking to get? Let's just say porn's gone. Because first of all, that is crazy. That's some Mormon shit, right?
Yeah, but it's also not. It's just
not
like,
happening.
It's not
right?
going to happen.
But the
It
fact that
is-
there's even somebody trying to push for that, it's like, God damn.
It's their governor is pushing for it, but it is
Because
like
he's just like a crazy religious zealot, like a Mormon guy.
I would guess so. I honestly don't know. I would imagine so. But
let's say porn's gone.
But it's like
Like,
it's like
they
even like
did
that
in,
law
in India, right? Or, like recently, there was some country that like banned porn like altogether, and I think there was like riots, or they tried to. Or something. I mean, there would be riots.
Hey, you want to see real revolution? Ban porn.
Yeah.
Like I'll fucking.
I mean, God, that would be terrible.
I'll show you a Capitol storming. Fucking, I'll be out there in a goddamn fucking Davy Crockett hat, shirtless, fucking.
What would it take for you to protest? I think it'd be porn. Take away my porn.
Honestly, I wouldn't. I still wouldn't.
You know why? I mean, I double wouldn't, because you can't be the guy like on TV. Give me my fuck movies. Well, I gotta get my anal sex. You know, then you're a real fucking pervert.
Like in theory, I would support them. I'd donate to the cause, but am I gonna get on a train? Probably.
I'll hit the Venmo. I'll Kylie Jenner that shit. I'll Venmo a few dollars. I feel like porn is so important. Porn's underrated, bro.
Porn's underrated.
Yeah, porn's underrated. That's what I'm gonna say. I think porn is actually important. I feel like people like learn how to like have fucking crazy fun kinky
Have
sex
you
through
ever
porn.
like learned stuff in porn?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever done something where I'm like, I saw this in a porn, I want to do it.
Bro. You've done that Spider-Man.
Okay.
You've done that Spider-Man. I don't know why. Like, that's, you know exactly what I mean.
Okay, you're right. Yeah.
And that's a super important one, man. That is one of the craziest things that I learned through porn that apparently like not many other people did. But we all can do it.
You're like, come on. Dude.
I know you know. I know you know that I know that you know. That is, you can do that to anybody and it works and it's fucking bam, all of a sudden you're a porn star. And the only reason I learned that was, and it's not even like I learned that because I saw it in a porn. I learned that when it was like the instructional porn.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
Here's how to do it.
Yeah, it was a how-to.
Yes.
Like,
and it fucking, it's the most, out of everything I've ever like YouTubed, you know, how to fold a fitted sheet, how to fucking cut a tomato with a bread knife. That was like how to. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, it happens. It fucking happens. So I think that's important. I feel like it's also important for chicks. I feel like girls pick up more on how to do things in sex. Guys, it's tough. It's like, have a fucking 30-inch dick and last for like 3 hours. Like, you either can or you can't.
Go in and out.
A lot. Many times in a row without pretending that it slipped out. Or like going down on her in the middle of sex because that's normal. Like
how to fake cramps is my most important YouTube video. Hang on.
Need some water. I need some Revitalite. Give me some Revitalite. I'm dehydrated.
No, it's my foot. It's my foot. Okay, we're good.
Okay, we're good. We're
almost
You
soft
good,
again.
buddy?
We're
You
good.
I gotta thumb it in. Yeah. So I think sex clearly important is seriously important. I would if there was a dollar amount, let's say you had to pay for porn, which that's almost like gambling when they legalize gambling and they're like, the state of Pennsylvania made like $600 million in a weekend. It's like, yeah, because people are gonna pay for it. If they could tax and make money off of porn, I think it's something you just have to add it to your expenses.
Yeah.
If there was if it was another streaming service, it's like I pay for Netflix, I pay for this, I pay for that. What if all porn was under Pornhub? Like you couldn't do anything else. Somehow they'd control that. And they were like, it's $9.99 a month. You'd absolutely pay that.
$9.99.
Right. So how much more could it, like $9.99 is what the other streaming services are. If they were like, it's $15, it's $20, it's $39.99, it's $59.99. Like, would you pay $100 a month for porn?
Yep.
Would you pay $500 a month for porn?
500 is probably pushing it, but 100 without blinking, because it is like it's one of those things. It's one of those things you gotta
100 without blinking.
You gotta think about how often you use it. Like it's kind of like television. Televisions are free. I don't know if people get that.
Right? Yeah, they're
TVs
like $1.
TVs are free.
Yeah.
Like they last forever.
Yeah.
They're fucking cheap, and you use them nonstop
all the time.
Television.
I just leave my TV on all the time. I walk in and I got the fish screensaver on. It's just always on.
Yeah.
I don't ever turn that shit off. It's machine hours is infinite.
Like I use porn 3 times a day.
Jack's face like, what the fuck?
I think
sometimes I just hop.
I think
on
that
and
was
just
like a doctor asking me how many drinks I have, and I'm like, I fucking cut it in half. Yeah, it's about 6 times a day.
I'll be like,
actually.
open up Twitter, open up Instagram, open up Pornhub.
Yeah,
back to Twitter.
The second I see a Christy
what's
Mack
on.
post, I'm like, fuck, I gotta watch porn now.
I'm compelled. I'm bound by this. I feel like you would on your first night, you'd be like, all right, I got to get used to this.
I'd pay $500.
And I was gonna say, and then on your second night, you'd be like, I'll pay the $500.
Yeah.
Like maybe one night you could figure out a way. All right, I'll just jerk off from memory. I got some nudes on my phone or whatever. I'm just not gonna watch it tonight. On your second night, you'd be like, I'll pay $500.
I would be able to get.
I'll tell you what.
I'd get mine paid for.
In the moment,
But the girls, I'd be annoying. Can I have a nude? Like, I'll fucking pay for your fucking porn. I'm tired of taking naked pictures.
I would love a crew of girls to unite and crowdsource it. You're like, is John bothering you for nudes? Me too. Me too, sister. Hey, over here. I'm also 5 girls contribute,
I'd be hitting
$100
up, like,
a month.
fucking elementary school girlfriends, being like, "Hey, it's John. Remember me?" Anyway, what do you look like naked now?
I would send over a text like, you can A, send a nude, B, contribute to my GoFundMe here. One or the other.
I could be so annoying. I'd get it paid for. I'd have my shit for free.
You make a profit. I'm getting $550 a month. I pay for my porn and put some money in my pocket.
Girls are sick of bending over in front of a mirror.
You're getting that good, huh? You're not just getting those tits. Oh, nice boobs. I said I want a nude, not your tits.
Boobs. What am I in fucking 7th grade?
What are we, fucking children? All right, last voicemail today is brought to you by Sunday. If you want to make sure your lawn stays fresh, if you want to make sure you're looking good in the neighborhood, shout out to Applebee's? Eating good in the neighborhood.
Shout out Tara.
You want to keep up with the Joneses
Tyra?
and take some
Tyra.
pride in your appearance and your house's appearance, you got to get down with Sunday. Listen, I don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this. Nobody here knows how to groom a good lawn, okay? It's just not something we know how to do.
Yeah,
So,
no
like,
one's ever listened to KFC radio on a John Deere.
Right.
Like, you need help.
Right. This is the perfect podcast where it's like guys like, I don't know. But also at the same time, you don't want your lawn to look like shit because that is some hillbilly stuff where it's like, oh, you're going to like lower the property value of the neighborhood because you look like garbage. So you don't want to be that guy. And Sunday, they're more than just a lawn care product. It's a customized lawn plan that works together with nature based on where you live and what the climate is and what your lawn is going to look like and feel like to make sure that they maximize the best lawn possible using getting rid of all the unwanted chemicals and using what's good for people, for pets, for kids, for the environment to grow that beautiful lawn. All you have to do is go to getsunday.com, put in your home address, and they'll give you a free lawn analysis. Takes care of all the rest. And then Sunday uses the soil and the climate data to create a tailored nutrient plan. So you get all the stuff that your lawn needs, nothing it doesn't. It's made with ingredients that you can actually pronounce. So it's things like seaweed, iron, molasses, all that stuff that makes it grow better and feel better about it. And all you do is just attach it onto a garden hose and spray. So it's like a bottle of liquid that has all the ingredients. You attach it to your hose, spray it on, and start growing that beautiful lawn. So go to getsunday.com/KFC. Get $20 off your custom lawn plan. That's getsunday.com. Get $20 off. Getsunday.com/KFC to get $20 off.
Boys, okay, I have a question from a female just trying to get dick, really. Okay, how do you get to the stage? Okay, I guess really not get dick, but how do you get to the point of like having a guy FaceTime you and you have like conversation to then by the time it's the weekend you get dick? Like, how do I get him to want to FaceTime me? Because I'm not about to initiate it. Like, I've expressed the fact that I would like to, but I'm not about to call him.
FaceTime?
So
how do I get
like the type of dude, or is there any? Do you have any tricks to trick him into wanting to FaceTime?
Is this a
Thanks,
young
guys.
thing,
Love you.
Jackie? Do you FaceTime with guys before you hook up with them?
Okay, actually, my friends and I like have the same thing. Where like, how do you get to the stage where you FaceTime them?
That's a stage these days.
No, not like
Date hotter guys than me is
Yeah.
probably the only tip I have because I'm not FaceTiming you.
So you, I think
I look like a fucking newborn baby. Every time. I like it's like,
But even
why
beyond,
is he so swollen?
Even beyond the look, like I'm FaceTiming when I'm like in a relationship with someone.
Not even doing that.
Yeah, but I'm certainly not doing it with like a hookup.
I'm not doing literally. There's
Unless, are we talking about
but
like?
that's the point. Is like you want like somebody. You want like if you want to like make a step to be like a little bit more than a hookup, then you're like, how do we?
Oh, see, I think there's steps. I think that's the end. I don't think that's the. I think that's the final step.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Maybe get married. And even if you fucking married me, I wouldn't FaceTime.
To me, FaceTiming is like
you could put it in
final
your
frontier.
fucking vows. Like if like I'm getting a divorce if
Unless-
we don't FaceTime, I'm like, well,
I mean, if
let's
that
not do
girl's,
it.
if she was like, I want to like FaceTime fuck, and then you can get me on a FaceTime, and then maybe afterwards we can talk. But I'm not gonna
Even that.
I mean, I'm down with that. You can do that to me.
Ah,
If you wanted to FaceTime, you want to get naked on FaceTime, you can do that to me.
My
for sure.
little looks I have don't translate to a
No.
small screen. It's not. It just doesn't work. It's not happening. It's not
Gotta-
nothing.
You got to know those angles, babe.
Like yeah, like I don't know. I don't
the
know him.
angles.
I don't know him, and I don't care enough to put it in time. So I just say, bro, like the very few times I get FaceTimed, I just flip my phone over
They just talk.
and I just talk.
Yeah.
I'm just you can't see me. I don't.
This is now just talking on speakerphone.
It is
That's it.
so depressing for me
Yeah.
to see myself in a FaceTime.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. I have no help for you, voicemail. There's nothing you can do to get me on a FaceTime call.
So there you have it, girls. I don't know.
What we do, and this is gonna sound like so like high school or whatever, but it actually works. It's like if you get all your friends around, and then you're like, "Hi, like we're settling a bet," and then like you like say something and you make something up, and
Okay.
then from then on,
Then you start talking.
Then you start talking. But that sounds so high school when I say that out loud, but it actually works.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
listen,
sounds like a reasonable
I
thing.
have never felt older in my life where it's just like, oh, this is not like a stage where you have to worry. I don't know. I'm like, oh, I'm so like old. I would probably just be like, all right, I don't know. You want to FaceTime? Okay, whatever. Not realizing that it's like a thing, that she's sitting at home going like, oh my God, we FaceTimed. I'm like,
I would. There's nothing. It's one of those things too where it's just like once we're so deep in a relationship, I would then be like annoyed that that's an extra step. I'd be like, everything we do isn't like, you met my parents. We need to do this in order for you to like feel comfortable in a relationship. You need to fucking see me when you talk to me. I don't even talk to people. I don't.
Yeah, no. That's a big step that
I think the less I talk to you, the more serious we are.
Yes. Amen.
Well, 100%. The less I talk to you, the more serious we are. The more real I consider our relationship. Be it men or women. The less I talk to you, the more I like you.
Speaking of women, we got one of the funniest female comics in the game today, maybe ever. Bonnie McFarlane's on the show, who is kind of like the queen of comedy in my mind, right up there with all the other greats that we've interviewed recently over the past couple of years, Wendy Cummings and Nikki Glazer and Eliza and The Girls Gotta Eat. And she is, top dog, and she's got a new special out, a new documentary out talking about it. So we sat down and talked to her. It's brought to you by Cuts Clothing, the only shirt to wear, and I mean that from a physical point of view. It's the only one that fits right, fits tight, fits like a modern and sleek look. I mean it from a style point of view. The only shirt I feel like worth wearing these days, like a plain color, style, that's fresh and sleek. It's not loud. It doesn't have crazy designs. It's the only thing worth wearing these days. You mix and match that with the right hoodie from Cuts Clothing and the right pants. You can have every different neck. You can have the crew neck, the V-neck, the Henley buttons on the bottom. You can have the split hem, the scoop hem, the elongated. The only shirts worth wearing, the only styles worth wearing, and you can mix and match it based on the color, the cut, the length, whether it's warm, cold, whatever. It's as basic as it comes, but the ability to dress it up with all the different stitching, all the different sewing work, tops, bottoms, like I said, all of a sudden it becomes a very easy thing to customize and keep up with the times, stay trendy while looking classic, stay comfortable while looking sleek. It's Cuts Clothing, man, and they make it as simple as possible. They keep up with all the trends for you while also providing with that timeless look. So, only thing you need in this world to look good and feel even better. It's Cuts Clothing. They make it as easy as possible to look sharp, and right now they're making it as easy as possible to give back with the new special they're running. They're doing the Cuts Give Back sale. Well, right now from March 24th through March 26th, you'll get a 20% off discount, and every shirt you buy, Cuts will donate to a veteran in need through the company, through the charity Working Wardrobes. That's 20% off, and you can help the people over at Working Wardrobes by going to cutsclothing.com. Buy whatever you want. There's no code. There's no URL. Right now, it's just 20% off store-wide, and they'll donate to a veteran in need. So that's cutsclothing.com. Buy, look good, and feel good about helping out a veteran. One more time, cutsclothing.com. How are we doing, Bonnie?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing excellent. Thanks for taking the time. Well, yeah, no, we tend to lie when people say, like, how you doing? It's like, we're doing great. We're doing excellent. And really, it's pretty mediocre and very below average.
This is everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's... I basically...
So go ahead.
I was going to say, I basically think of it as either you're lying or if you're telling the truth and it's all great, like, then shut the fuck up because I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now you're just rubbing it in.
Right. The only place people are doing well is Instagram. That's it.
Yep. So thank you for taking the time. I feel like it's something I've wanted to talk to you for a while because I feel like whenever we do have funny female comics on, you are like the one they all mention. You're like...
Really?
Yeah, I mean, everybody that we've had that, are very, very funny and accomplished in their own right, always, throw you out there as the inspiration or the best or whatever it may be.
I try to be as mean as I can to all those little girls coming up. So. I say, how are you going to take on the guys if you can't even take on me? Come on.
I mean, it is kind of true, though, right? I feel like you got to be funny, but you also have this whole other element where, like, you got to fight your way through. It's not just you can be the funniest person in the world, funniest girl in the world, but you got to fight that extra mile to get there. No.
Well, there is. It's not easy to be a comic, so it's weird when people are so sensitive and they come into this field. It's like, I mean, you have to at least like sort of put on some kind of hubris or something to do it. Like you can't. I mean, I've had women open for me before that. I remember this one time telling my husband, Rich Voss, legend. I have to say that every interview. It's not Rich Voss. But he, so I was telling him, like, the woman who opened for me, she cried after her set. And so while they were introducing me, I was like hugging her. I was like, you're going to be fine. And he goes, I can honestly say that's never happened with a dude.
Right,
That
right.
was not out.
That's.
But I'm not saying you can't be sensitive. Like you can be sensitive and have emotions, but it is a hard job. So it's like you have to learn how to manage those emotions. I've certainly cried after sets. But only the good ones. I'm not learning. No. I just think it is weird. It is. I like to, with all comedians, when I first meet them, is say something like, sort of poke at them, be provocative or, a little mean and see how they react. Because if they're funny about it, it warms my heart. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, we've got one.
Yeah, you can take it, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's
I mean,
fun.
that really is to me like you said, everybody's got to be able to handle it. Guy, girl, like young, old, new, whatever. Like it's a tough ass business. So it's really not just that it's hard on girls. You got to be let's call a spade a spade. Guy or girl, you have to be like a fucking sociopath to do your job. It's crazy.
Well, you have to put on some kind of like armor. When I first started headlining and going on the road by myself, and it's like a long weekend, and especially if you're not doing well, which totally happens, where you're, like maybe even the audience doesn't know you're not doing well because they don't know. They're not coming to clubs every night. They don't know how it actually goes, but you kind of know. It's like a lonely existence. It's like you got to go back to your hotel room and try to figure out what you're going to do different for the next night, and then it's like that show is looming and you're like, oh God, here we go again with all these people with their cut off sleeves that I gotta try to make laugh. It can be daunting because you don't have any friends, you don't know the opener maybe, or they're local, they're doing their own thing. It's hard. Then you have to get up. It's like, you're right. It's like you have to like at least pretend to be a sociopath. Like, I don't care, man.
Right.
This is who I am,
In the preview for Hysterical out April 2nd, I don't know who it was, but someone mentioned like being followed back to their hotel room.
Oh, that was me, yeah.
That was you?
Yeah.
That's happened? Someone just pounded on the door outside?
Yeah, so I talked to somebody after a show, and I thought I knew them, and because he knew a lot of people that I knew, but then it turned out that I didn't know him, and he was kind of like, there was a few red flags or whatever. I wasn't like sitting there, I just was like chatting with someone for a few minutes after a show, and I kind of got a weird feeling. And then I went back to my hotel room, and I don't know how he found out I didn't tell him. I think he did ask me what hotel I was staying in. I didn't tell him, and I didn't obviously tell him what room I was in, but somehow he knew, and he was banging on the door to let me in so we could talk. And I just was under my covers, like just
yikes,
sitting there scared, like I knew my door was locked, but it's still a very like.
Well, that's what's I feel like sometimes I hear like I'm not a female comic, I'm just a comic. Like, why do you have to differentiate? And I understand obviously where that's coming from, but also
those are the flat-chested gals.
But also I feel like you almost I want to say deserve to put the female in front of it because like you go through worse shit, you go through more shit. Like that kind of stuff is not really happening to males, and if they do, it's not like I have to hide under my covers.
It's exciting.
It's like yes, it worked. It's fine. Yeah, and I mean, and even like you described when you're on the road and alone, like. You know how guys are gonna behave, like you go get fucked up, or you bring some girls back to the room. All these things that like are kind of typical male behavior that I'd imagine it's that much harder. So while I understand the idea of like we should all just be judged on our comedy and all that, there is a difference. So like let's not like pretend it's not.
I started in Canada and like we didn't even fly places. We just drove. Like So I would get in a car with someone I didn't know and drive for like 8 hours and then do a show with them and then drive for 6 more hours the next day.
By the way, why? Do they not have planes in Canada? Why can't you
I don't know,
fly?
because it was so rural. I guess there wasn't any planes
true,
probably
true.
to a lot of those places.
Crazy. That.
Yeah, so it was weird. I remember one guy, like, this was long enough ago that we didn't have phones, but I was reading the paper next to him, and then he was driving, and he was like, "You're just gonna ignore me and read the paper?" And I was like, "I've been on the road for like 7 weeks." It's like, I'm sorry if I'm not being. And then he goes, "You should at least read me tidbits or interesting things that you come across." I was like,
hang on. I completely agree with that.
You're just gonna keep that to yourself. There really is. If you're just reading and you kind of do the like, like you're making noises, you're chuckling. Oh, that's interesting. Share with the class. Share with the class.
I guess you're right.
We had like a Barstool like hockey tournament in New Jersey, probably 2 weeks ago, give or take. And one of my friends drove out, and he's like, "Oh, if you want to ride back with me, that's cool." Because we also had like a shuttle bus. And I said, "Dude, I'm going to fall asleep the second I get in the car. I'd be a terrible co-pilot, so I'm just going to get in the bus and fall asleep there." Because I would have felt bad not acknowledging. I had a friend in high school who would get in the car and he'd put in headphones and then he'd fall asleep. And I was like, this isn't how you co-pilot. This is not allowed.
I know, but it gets
7 weeks, though. It's like, come on.
And it wasn't like a weekend here. It was like, you were like every night you were going somewhere else. It was like exhausting. But that guy too. So he got really mad. He had some anger issues, which sort of made sense later on. So we were at this, it was like these Canadian bars, and people didn't like him. He was wearing like a knit hat. In Canada, we call them toques. He was wearing a toque in the summer, and so people were just like, "What?
You suck."
No,
yeah,
we're not dealing with this guy." And so he goes, "I'll bring the girl back," and then they started jeering, and I was like, "Okay, dude, here we go." And so then he spent all his money on coke, and I could hear him in the hotel room next to me, like, talking to himself and kind of like we were going to drive back that night, and then he decided he wanted to stay, and then I heard him on the phone. This is how like, thin the walls were. I heard him call like Tylenol, the number on the bottle, and ask if he could shove the pills up his ass.
What?
Because I'm not kidding. Because his throat was too sore to take a pill.
To swallow one. I don't care how sore my throat is. I'm not shoving pills up my ass. Come on.
I was kind of curious to know the answer. I was like, what? But by the way, don't do it. They don't recommend it.
Could you imagine just that poor guy just has a couple little chalky pills just sitting right inside his butt? Like, I'm not feeling anything, and now my ass itches. This sucks.
Yeah, not good.
That's nuts. Where do you? I've heard. Well, first of all, as far as like the female comic thing goes, I almost feel like you guys are kind of killing it right now. I don't know if it's maybe more that we've been interviewing more and more comics over the past few years on our show, so I'm more like plugged in. But I feel like there's a ton of names.
Shit,
there's
sorry.
the guy. There's the guy himself. What's up, Rich?
This is the only reason I get podcast interviews. He shows up.
Oh shit! What's up, Rich? How we doing, man?
It's Barstool Sports.
What's the name of this podcast?
This is KFC Radio. I think we have you sooner. Maybe do we have him locked in? I feel like we've at least asked for you to be on our show. You probably turned us down.
Rich, we're talking about female comics. What do you think the state of female comedy is?
Females have the world in the palm of their hands. If you can't make it as a female, you stink. You stink. I'm telling you, you could be.
If you're not married to Rich Voss.
No, please, and that's Mr. Voss to you. Look, you know what? I'm so. Here's the problem. Now, and this is real quick. Everybody's grouping themselves: female comics, black comics, what happened to comics with a lisp like me? But here's
You're one of the biggest handicap comedians we have.
No, here's how I look at it. Nowadays, there's so many different avenues, and whoever you are, if you create your own, they say, "Oh, white male comics are done." Look at like Andrew Schultz.
Look at this podcast.
No, I mean,
Look at the world like that. I mean, white males are never going to be done.
Look at his podcast. We'd be the only two. Anyhow, if you create the right thing, whoever you are, you're gonna whatever. Yeah, the industry might lean right now towards minorities or females or whatever, but there's so many different avenues that I haven't found.
Okay,
all right.
I think we're gonna go because the people with the movie are listening to this. They're like, I don't know if this was the right choice.
Rich, follow-up question.
We're promoting the FX movie, Hysterical.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but female right now, if I were to put my money on somebody.
Okay,
the female
thank you.
comics.
Sorry. He just told me to shut up. I'm sorry. Hysterical on FX.
Listen, it's probably. I'm sure it's a great movie that a male financed. Goodbye.
I'm sorry. We're comedians. He does not hit me. So at least there's a line, okay? I saw his hands are tiny.
Oh, that is so funny. But he's,
Okay,
what he
sorry.
was saying, there's some truth to it. Like I heard Whitney Cummings say recently, like, you got to be twice as funny to make half the money or half the success. But then we've talked to like Eliza and Annie Letterman, people who have been like, it's kind of a leg up in a way. Like, they're not expecting me to be funny, so when I am, I kill even more. Like, there's kind of two different
Annie
ways.
Letterman. No, she's one of my best friends.
I feel like I can see both sides of it, but I would imagine overall it's just another hurdle to kind of overcome.
Well, it is like, it's not black and white. It's like some things help you, some things don't. Sometimes you're right for the timing, sometimes you're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, they always say like, oh, talent wins out. It doesn't always win out. I mean, there's also like talent that scares people. There's talent that's more, universal.
Mhm.
It's like
Definitely.
all these things that you have to deal with, and sometimes that falls into, you being female, or you're being like, a person of color, or, gay or lesbian. It's really just pretty recently that clubs have tried to make the comedy experience more diverse.
Making an honest effort. Like, we're gonna put you on.
Yeah,
because,
yeah. Yeah, because, and then, guys get mad about it. They're like, well, but it's like, there's, for a long time, there's sort of been this one kind of comic, which was, sorry guys, a white guy. And the audience came to see that. And people who might have wanted to see something else just stopped going to clubs, Like, when you look out into the audience, it's a lot of dudes with like cut off sleeves. Sorry.
I just want to put out there, we always have our sleeves on. I just want you to know what kind of guys we are. Team sleeve over here. Don't worry.
I do a lot of Long Island. No, but it's like, you're there's always like a Q shirt out there. It's like a certain kind of audience that loves this kind of comedy.
Yeah.
And then, so other people don't do that well sometimes in those kinds of audiences. And then people go, oh, well, they're not funny. Well, it's not that. It's that there's like different kinds of audiences
not the right
for different
fit.
kinds of people. And in the club system, it's still hard to break through if you're not like guys.
So do you try to like curate a different type of can you do that? Like I don't know, it's like ladies only or something like that, where the crowd more is geared towards you?
I've thought about it, but the problem with like a ladies only night is it's an event, and the people who come are not necessarily comedy fans.
Yeah.
They're just like, they want to whoop, they want like,
Yeah.
They're sort of into a different experience. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
we got the sitter, and it's like, I don't know. I've thrown people out of my show for whooping. I can't take it. I'm like, that's
wow.
we don't do that.
Enough of that, bitch. No more whooping. One more whooping, you're gone.
I'm gonna do the no whoop tour. do it.
The No Whoop Tour. I guess it is kind of more like Girls Gotta Eat is a podcast that comes to mind that like they do live podcast events. It's not just like, every weekend at the comedy club, but they turn it into like their crowd. They have like this, they usually have dancers or something like a crazy opener or whatever, but it is kind of a curated experience for, one
And that's a
one-off.
Whoop.
That's a Whoop show. You're going to do the No Whoop Tour. They're going to do the Whoop Tour. But yeah, I guess as far as just like, doing your 15 minutes at the club to gear, just to get through the whole system, it's just never really going to be, or it's not yet geared towards you at all.
Right. Well, also it's like, I've done one of those shows, by the way, that where, they were doing like, they had sex toys on stage and they had feather boas and they were like really freaking out. And it was like in the day, it was a daytime show. And then I came in and I was just like, oh my God.
Oh no.
And then, it's weird because it's like, woo! And then it's like, I come on, I'm like, hey, what's up?
You guys ever want to kill
It's
yourself?
Like, they're like, this isn't what we wanted.
But that's where I feel like, that's where it does come back to like the comedic chops, where it's just like the goods and the material and the set you have, where it might not be the right vibe, but it's like funny is funny at the end of the day too.
Right. I mean, I guess. I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, I think, because like I look at like a Hannah Gadsby, who I thought was really funny, and so many of my friends and a lot of male comedians sort of were like, that's not comedy, and really got upset about it. It's like, I don't know. I thought it was funny. I really did. I thought she said a lot of things that I had thought about for a long time.
She got very railroaded too by the fact that like she came out right around the same. She went viral for the sense that like it was her review and the review for Chappelle's new special. And I think it was the Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. And the critics did not like Chappelle's new one. And I think it was 100 for Hannah. And people were just like screenshotting that and being like, come on, really?
I mean, that's a tough comparison.
Right. But, then Chappelle did the special, the part, where he was in the, not a parking lot special, but, an outdoor special. And, it wasn't supposed to be funny.
Right.
It was very like deep but nobody was like, hey, that's not comedy.
Yeah, right. I guess it's more just the benefit of the doubt, where they can do kind of whatever and still people will watch, and you guys have to fall into a specific,
I think women do get sort of like it's a harder, I don't know. Who knows? I honestly have no idea. We'll know when we're dead, I suppose. We'll look back and see where we went. They'll be like, no, you just were like I think about it all the time. It's like I watch a guy on before me kill, and then I go on and I feel like I struggle and I go, I'm so much funnier than he is. I don't understand what's happening. Then I have to go home and be like, maybe you're not. Maybe that's, maybe you have an audience of one and it's just you. I don't know. I won't know until it's all over.
Well, you've also then got the podcast with Rich, which I think doing a podcast as a couple is insanity. I think it's insane, and that's probably more.
I agree with you.
I was gonna say I think it's probably more. I'm projecting with some of the experiences I've had about if I were doing a podcast with them, but you think it's crazy too. I mean, it's just inherently crazy to do that. I feel like.
Well, you just saw like a little tiny bit of it. It's like he's insane. He's not a good person. He's a bad person that I have to be. The only reason I like doing it is because a lot of people go, God, how do you do it? And I feel like I get some kind of like martyr thing happening.
Definitely.
Like, yeah, see?
For sure. If
I'm
you're
not
looking
saying
for a
that.
pat on the back, tell people
Yes,
I do a
yeah.
podcast with my husband Rich Voss. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it's like couples therapy where someone's like, you can be completely honest here, and you're like, well, no, I can't. You're not gonna trick me. I'm not gonna.
People always ask like, does it help your marriage? And I honestly don't think it does. Like I watch movies and stuff where they, they'll have a fight and it'll be like this person will say something cutting them, that person will say something cutting them, that person leaves the room, and I'm like, how does that happen? Like we have to keep going back and forth until one of us is bleeding on the floor. Like it's, you know what I mean? It's like we have to have our hearts ripped out before it's over. I don't know how people do that. And I don't understand how that helps our marriage.
No.
So lots of times, the only thing about the podcast I would say is helpful, this is crazy, but we started filming them during quarantine. And it's made us better, because it's like
As a
even though we
couple
knew
or
it was
as
going
like
out,
performers?
yeah, because we can see ourselves in
Yeah.
the thing, and then we kind of haha, like we're a little more jovial about it. It's not. Like before we used to like go, I would cry on that podcast sometimes. And then I remember like being in the shower, just be like, we can't release that. This is too personal and crazy. And then Rich would be like, well, you want to re-record it? And I'd be like, nah. Too lazy.
That sounds like a whole thing. It's a whole to-do. That's a lot.
But when it's being filmed, I don't know. Maybe that is like why people are religious. Maybe that's like I'm not religious at all, but maybe it does help. Like maybe you are a better person if you think someone's
watching. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's the opposite for me. I'm like, I got to make these people laugh, so I'm just gonna sell out and say something horrible just to get the laugh. Do whatever it takes. But that's me. That's when you're just like a talentless podcast hack. There's a difference,
Well, I feel like that on stage a lot of times where it's like, I hope no one I know is in here right now as I go through some of this horrible crowd work.
What is I feel like I've seen Funny Pains was another documentary, and you were in the one recently talked about the Comedy Store. Like I feel like there's been a lot of documentaries kind of about comedy, and this is on FX on Friday, April 2nd.
I was in the Patrice documentary too.
Yeah, I saw you in that one as well.
I've gone.
Can I ask you something about Patrice? We talked about it a couple episodes ago on our show. We have no experience. What's that?
Can you hear all the noise? There's like my
I
family
actually can't. I think we're good.
I can't give you the charge. Okay, bring it back. We have charger issues. Sorry. Okay.
I feel like the whole world has charger issues. I never have my charger. I'm always looking for another one. And then Apple switches it up on you. It's like, God damn it. I'm never going to be able to charge this shit again.
Well, it just broke this morning before I was coming down here. So I had to take my daughters, and then she has school. So I guess.
School. Go get educated. Just marry rich, whatever. With Patrice, we were watching just as like fans who probably, I knew of him, but really kind of caught on, unfortunately, after his death. All the comedians, everybody who knows him is like, Patrice was an asshole. And I feel like, I don't know if the audience really like truly listens to that, where it's like all of them are like, no, he was really mean to me. He was really hard to be around. He was like really a jerk, but I guess he was just kind of that funny that it became endearing. But I don't know. It just sounds like sometimes the people in the documentaries are always laying it on, like, no, you guys don't get it. He was tough.
He was mean. And people are like, I loved him.
Right.
But it's not like they're saying it about Mitch Hedberg. They're like, I mean, they have to know a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
I just feel like sometimes I hear the stories. I'm like, boy, I don't know if I would even be able to laugh about that. That was really fucking mean.
I know. Well, the thing about, I think, comedians is that, or at least it used to be true, I don't know if it's still true, but the valued like authenticity so much.
Right.
And Patrice was definitely that. So when he was being mean, he was still being Patrice. I mean, I think Rich gets a lot of love just for that too, because every single person who's ever met Rich hated him when they first met him, myself included. And then he kind of grows on you because he's just, it's like, oh, that's him,
Yeah.
He would be that way whether, my cat's coming in now.
Bring her in.
He would be that way whether he was meeting the queen or,
Yeah, right.
I see, but I have friends like that, but I don't introduce them to new friends. Right? I'm just like, nah, like I was friends with him in high school, but he's a
You don't want to
asshole.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that about Rich. Like, I did a lot of work with Anthony Bourdain, and then we did the New Jersey show, what was his show called?
Parts Unknown or something?
Parts Unknown. Oh, yeah, when we did the Jersey, Jim Gaffigan texted me and was like, is it called Parts Unknown now? But so I did it with Rich, and I was so nervous about them meeting, because I held Anthony in such high regard, and I was like, oh God, but they got along great. They were, because I think he's another guy who like values authenticity.
Absolutely.
He likes real people.
Yeah, and I feel like when those two meet, like that's like, those two type of people meeting together is like there's gonna be some fireworks. There's potential
Yes.
for a lot to go down. What was that? I saw like there was a memoir that he wrote, Anthony, that was like about your upcoming in comedy or something to that effect, or did I get that wrong?
Well, I wrote a book that
You-
Anthony was he did the foreword.
Okay, got
it. The book, and his company was the produced the book or whatever you call it.
How did you and Anthony link up?
What's that?
How did you and Anthony link up?
I did a roast for the New York food and wine something or whatever. And it was like a really big deal. I had no idea it was going to be that big, and it was very fancy. And it was like every chef you've ever heard of was either on the dais or in the room. It was like it was so weird to because at that time like chef stuff was really hot too. It was like everybody was like watching those shows, and there was all those like.
I feel like that's a lot of egos too. If you're doing a roast, like I don't know, are they able to like laugh at themselves and laugh at that whole industry?
Yeah, I mean there were it was fun. There was a couple other comedians on. It was Artie Lang was on it too, and so was Jim Norton. I think we were the only comedians on it. I don't remember. And then all the rest were like chefs and stuff. And I went up really late. I was so nervous. I was just like, what am I doing here? And then I did really, really well. And his agent came up to me, when it was over and things were kind of going crazy and was like, she said, get in touch with me. And then I had to like do research, find out who his agent was, try to get her. Like, I was like, what the fuck? You get in touch with me, bitch. But I sent an email. I was like, are you Anthony's agent?
He's knocking on random doors.
So I just like, I do you know who I am? I'm like, I lay in bed until 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. Like, come on.
He was one of those types too, though. I feel like was like the ultimate, like in culture of humor, just like being, right? I mean, linking up with him is you were rolling with one of a kind for a while there.
Well, so we went for lunch. So the next week or whatever, we went for lunch, Anthony and I and his agent. And when I got there, Anthony was already at the bar, like a couple in. This is lunch. I was like, oh, okay.
Now you're speaking my language, yep.
Yeah. And it was funny because he sat with his back to the kitchen door, but you could see, like, I could see the chefs coming out all the time. Like, people were like, Anthony Bourdain here. Like, you knew in the kitchen there was some, like, excitement going
royalty,
on.
yeah, for sure.
He didn't care or notice or anything. But, yeah, and then he was like, I've never met a woman who, spoke like that before, had that kind of voice. So I thought he thought I talked like that all the time. Like I was always just roasting people. So whenever I saw him, I tried to be a little mean. It's like,
I got a reputation to keep up here.
I know.
Yeah.
He thinks he likes this. I gotta do it.
Yeah, I remember when I very, very, very beginning of like my blog career, it just stuck with. This happened like 12 years ago. It's one time it stuck with me. A guy introduced me to his wife, and he said, "Yeah, this is the guy from the website that I like. He's much funnier on the internet than he is in person." But he's like, and like for the rest of my life, every time I'm like, "All right, I gotta be funny. I gotta be funny. Do the dance. Dancing monkey over here." It's like,
know.
God, I'm a normal person. I swear. But anyways,
I get like where I don't even want to like interact or anything. Like if it's a famous person, I'm like, if they give me a compliment, you'll never see me again. That's it.
I'm going out on a high note. Costanza, goodbye.
Yes.
See you later.
Exactly.
To go back to the point I was saying though, is after all these documentaries, like what was the process of like Hysterical like, and kind of what can we expect from this one?
Well, this was good because it was, it's very high end female comics, so if you don't like all of us, you definitely like some of us.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was just fun doing something and doing all this press with other female comics. Like one of the things when I was coming up was you rarely interacted with other females. Like you would hear about them, but you wouldn't really see them because it was like one girl per show or, like I would go on the road and I would ask for a female opener. And lots of times they wouldn't let me have one. They'd kind of be like...
One per show? Like, filled your quota.
Yes.
Sorry. Wow.
When I was doing Caroline's, I asked if I could have all women on the show. And they're like, you don't need to do an all-female show. They were like, you're better than that. Come on. I was like, no, I never see my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so-
like this was. I feel like, again, you being the person that they like talk about a lot, did you ever make like a concerted effort to try to, I mean, I guess you did if you're asking for all female shows, but the idea of you guys getting together and kind of knowing each other more, I feel like makes the whole.
Well, we would every couple of years have this huge, all female, but not just comedians, but like comedians and like producers and, people in the business kind of thing, like these huge dinners. And it was always really, really fun. And, it's like, I remember Sarah Silverman saying one time, like she went on an all-female show, like road trip thing. And she was like, it was so fun. And she said, this is what guys do every weekend. This is, they get to live they don't have to like be like, isn't this special?
Right.
It's like, So, I mean, that's one thing that I think the reason that guys, too, they like really help each other out and they, you can watch them after shows. They'll be like, oh, that was good. Try this tag. Or, you can see them giving each other advice and stuff. And I think they don't do it with women because they feel like, oh, I don't want to be the guy that's telling a girl how to do a set, or whatever.
That is dicey, I will say. I would feel very like, can I just offer you, if I had anything to offer?
Because I could really see women getting upset by that too. And I've given tags to people, and it is just even it doesn't matter. It's like awkward to do it. You're like, you probably already thought of this. This is bad, maybe, but I see guys doing it with their friends all the time, and then up until very recently. Like when I was in LA, it was better because there was more female comics around, so you could really like sort of write with other girls and stuff. And but when I got to New York, it still wasn't. There wasn't that many women around, and when you did see another woman, sometimes they weren't that nice. It was because it was like it felt like.
I feel like sometimes there's almost more competition internally with you guys as well.
I think the guys have such a good group because they have like a secret. Have women have you guys just considered fucking high schoolers? And it's like
considered it.
Well done. All right, they're telling me I gotta wrap it up. I could talk to you forever about all this stuff, but thank you for the time.
I love talking about comedy. Thanks for having me
you got it. Hysterical on FX Friday, April 2nd. Go check it out, and thank you. And tell Rich thanks for the cameo as well.
Of course.
Thanks
Take
so
care,
much,
guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
We are 52,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. We want 1 million, booty preferential, but at 60,000, we're going to reward you. We have the Rat Family Vacation, a lost footage from me, Marty Mush, and Casey Smith's trip to Gainesville, I believe, and then Orlando.
I've never seen this because I wasn't there for this, so I want to fucking see this. So subscribe.
It's lost footage that is like it was going to be like a 3-minute video. I think we now have 5 5-minute videos, so it's going to be a half-hour video.
You know what this is? This is the Hamilton cut.
Yeah,
this is like a 9. It should have been a normal movie. It's gonna be like a 9-hour film of these idiots running around DC. Or running around Orlando.
We got shit faced in Epcot. I took like 100 milligrams of Adderall. I was really zooming. They forgot how much Adderall they gave me. I was on a lot of Adderall. I had a million beers. The plane got canceled. Got off. Got drunk. There's a lot of stuff. Me and Marty argue about fire escapes. That's probably a whole episode right there. It's fucking awesome.
Subscribe to the KFC Radio YouTube right now.
I really think I took 120 milligrams of Adderall that day.